Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Benj. We have a great news-packed show for you today. I am your host, Benj. We are going to be going over, it's very unfortunate, this is now the political end of MAGA. We need to talk about it, and talk about this war, talk about what Trump is doing, and talk about what we're doing moving forward and how that's going to work. We're also going to be covering Kamala. Kamala is back. She is at Al Sharpton's National Action Network convention, and she's telling people that she's not running in 28, but of course she's running in 28 because why would she be there if she wasn't? That is a place of people that are running in 28, and there are her and plenty of other Democrats who are running, so we are going to be covering that as well. But let's go right into it. Lord. I didn't want to do this video. I didn't want to say this. I never wanted to be in this place. I never thought we would be in this place, but this is the political death of MAGA. MAGA, the movement started by Donald Trump on June 26, 2015, when he came down that golden escalator, has unfortunately suffered a horrible, untimely death a few months ago. We're just now figuring out that it's dead. February 28, 2026, at the start of this war. This is just... It's really sad. You know, I was a person who I'm a triple Trump voter. I've been on the Trump train since, the very beginning, actually since July 27, 2016, so not too far after, he came down the golden escalator. And I voted for him 3 times. A lot of people are saying that if you have anything to say, critical of Trump, critical of MAGA, oh, you're not real MAGA, oh, you didn't vote for him, oh, you don't support him, yada, 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 yada. But that can't be said for me. I'm not a paid grifter. I'm a regular working person who just happens to do this show and who loves to do this sort of stuff on the side as a hobby. But Donald Trump was someone that I voted for, that I followed, that I trusted, not in a way of like trusting him in a way where I'm seeing a lot of people are, where they're trying to elevate him to Jesus Christ status, and he's even done it himself. We'll talk about that a little later too. But I want to show you, just before we get into the criticism, I want to show you my bona fides, my MAGA bona fides. So let's go back. We're going to take it all the way back to 2016, back to 2016. This is me in the voting booth in Newark, New Jersey, voting for Trump. Here we go. Here I am. So young and full of wonder as I am in that booth. I'm taking on Trump. There were some other people that were running. I just pretty much just ticked down all the Republicans at the time. I wasn't particularly, knowing about these things and how all these things work and the intricacies, but I went straight down the line, and I did that, and I voted for Trump. And then we can move to my 2020 vote. I happen to put all these things in for posterity, because I knew that one day this was going to be history. I knew one day I want to show my kids. This was like such a big thing for 2016, especially that vote, because the vote for Trump was like, you're crazy, you're nuts. How could you vote for Trump? How could you vote for him? He's crazy. You're crazy. But I did it. And in 2020, I did it again. Let's see that here. There I am. At this point, I was living in Virginia at the time, and this was like a paper system that they had there. And there I am, filling in all the bubbles for Trump and things. Did it show on this video? This is actually a part of a YouTube video that I did, but just know that I voted for Trump there too. He's on there. I think you can see it. Yeah, you can see Trump there on the thing. Republican Party, Donald J. Trump and Michael R. Pence voted for them yet again. And then most recently, 2024, right here in good old Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Oh, Lord, it's saying the file is corrupt. That's annoying. Okay, well, that's annoying. But I did do that. That was on my Instagram story. So we can't help those technical errors. But as you can see, and back there in between there I am on the thing here, on the computer thing here, voting for Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. So I did that. That was a thing. I did it. And then, since then, I've been on TV, many times. You guys have seen me on Newsmax and other things defending Trump. So here go one of my earlier videos in which I was defending the president.
Republicans like Lindsey Graham are pointing out that, look, so far this has got nothing to do with the Russian collusion. They've dismissed this as nothing so far.
Wait. Okay, so the hair, excuse the hair. I looked crazy. It was blonde. I looked nuts. Okay, this was like 2019, different day, different time. look nuts. Just, let's just ignore that and listen to what I had to say, okay? Like, this was like probably like my maybe like second or third, fourth news appearance ever in life. And I looked absolutely nuts with like that crazy wild blonde hair. Wow, like wow. But let's listen to what I'm saying and ignore my hair, please.
Implications of paying hush money aside, how does it look for the president that he has extramarital affairs? Because it's hard to dispute the fact that this has been going on. Is that a problem for the president's base?
No, I mean, this is the thing. I feel like this whole Russia, Mueller, Cohen, this whole thing is just, I mean, it's just so thin. It can literally moonlight as a condom. It's just so thin. Nobody cares about this. Like, speaking for regular people, I feel like I speak for normal people.
That's an interesting analogy.
Yes, because it's just that thin. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, no, real people don't care about this. Like, when I hear about this in the news, like, my eyes glaze over. It's like, oh, Lord, here we go again. No one cares about this. Real people who voted for President Trump don't care about this as far as the extramarital affairs. I mean, nobody likes it that he cheated on his wife or whatever, allegedly. But, I mean, we voted for a president, not a pastor. So, I mean, people aren't concerned. I think that a lot of the argument that the left tries to make in trying to, separate Trump from his evangelical base is that, oh, well, Trump's doing this and Trump's doing that. But at the end of the day, I mean, what other choice do we have? Are we going to vote for, the baby-killing Democrats? No. So, I mean, it doesn't make any sense. It's very thin. It's tired. It's tiring. Clearly, Mueller doesn't have much of anything if this is where we are right now.
We don't know that yet, but it does appear that so far.
I predict that this is going to be a bunch of nothing. The whole point of this is to try to, kill Trump with 1,000 cuts and separate him from the base or whatever. But it's not working. It's dumb.
All right, let's break up.
There I go on I-24 defending Trump back in the day. Like, this is, again, I'm full on MAGA, always have been. Let's show another video of me defending Trump on I-24 back in the day with this guy and this bullshit. Watch this.
President, who is the ally, sadly, of white supremacists who equated who said in Charlottesville, David Duke endorses
in Charlottesville. Actually, he said I condemn white supremacy totally. That's
but he also said there are good people on both sides. Are there good neo-Nazis?
No, there's not neo-Nazis.
But he said that.
No, that's not what he said.
It is what he said.
Were people who wanted to
Benji, he said that. He said there are good people on both sides.
The statues up. So
we wanted to talk about Joe Biden. Somehow
let's bring it back.
All I'm saying is it's much ado about nothing.
Cory Booker called out Joe Biden.
Exactly. There you go. See, I missed the days of a good old cable news argument. Like all the time I spent at Newsmax, it was like everybody is like we're all on the same side. And it's like everybody agrees. I miss a good old get up in the newsroom and argue and yell. I miss that. I don't know why we don't do that anymore. And it's funny because the shows that do that are the ones that have like the best ratings. Like, you have the five, they have like Jessica Tarlov or what's his name, or Harold, I forgot Harold's name, but his last name, but have them there with, conservatives, or, you have the show on CNN with the black lady, I forgot her name, and the guy who's the Republican guy who was the congressman, and they're going back and forth on that show. Like, I miss that. I wish we can get back to that. That's why I want to have libs on this show. Not necessarily to argue like that and be, at least not on this show, but I do want to have those different perspectives. But as you can see, full on MAGA, defending Trump. The guy came with that Charlottesville shit. I knocked that shit down. No, we're not doing that today, sir. We're not doing that shit today. Knock that shit down. Made his smug ass have to take that shit back. We're not doing that bullshit today. Not on my watch. You know what I mean? And I was there watching, covering, defending Trump, as many of us have over the years. So here we go. And here's a more recent video of me on Newsmax. This is after Trump was reelected. This was like last year sometime. And here we go.
Well, you have to understand, if you were looking for the Pussy Hat March, if you're looking for the Women's March, if you're looking for resistance, this is where it is. They lost the country, but they held on to the bureaucracy. So this is where they are doing their little march. This is where they're doing their little tantrum. This is how they're trying to hold on to power. As I said last week, Trump is home. Papa's home. The roaches have come out. He's spraying them all. DEI roaches, we're spraying you all down. You're all dying. You're all running back to the wall. DEI is done. And the thing that I hate the most about DEI is that in order for DEI to work, black people have to always be on the bottom. So for DEI to be a thing, black people have to always have something wrong with us. We're oppressed. There's always something where black people are always on the bottom. I'm sick of this DEI crap. I'm just as capable as any white, black, Asian, whatever person in the country. I'm so glad that President Trump has gotten rid of this crap.
Congrats and for all. Thank you.
Well,
Jesus.
tell us how you really feel, Benji. All right, so the Office of Personnel Management.
See, there I go. Full on MAGA, defending Trump. Got another one. This is even more recent. This is actually a few months ago about the looming shutdown. The shutdown, I think, that we had the one in November. It was 2025, so it was like the one at the end of 2025, that one. And here I go.
It's time to reopen the government. I don't care whose fault it was. Let's stop playing politics with people's lives.
He was basically saying to the Democrats, let's go, open this thing up. Our people are getting hurt.
He's absolutely right. Even Jake Sack on CNN had to admit that the party that is not voting for the CR, the party that is not voting to open the government, it is their shutdown. Democrats, they're trying to extort our government with this shutdown because they want to repeal parts of Trump's big, beautiful bill that stops benefits for illegals. Democrats are holding the government hostage via this government shutdown to prop up Obamacare with these Affordable Care Act subsidies, where if Obama's care was affordable, then it wouldn't need to be subsidized. We already have 3 Democrats that are relenting. We just need another 5 senators to get the government open. And politically, if we're just going to take all of the feelings out of it, it doesn't really work well for them politically because these are their voters, a lot of them that are receiving these benefits, and it's being looked back on them. This is Trump's last term. He can totally go scorched earth here. They're playing chicken with an eagle named Donald Trump, and they are going to lose. The Democrats are going to lose this battle.
It's time to reopen the government.
That was a good line. I came up with that one last minute. They're playing chicken with an eagle named Donald Trump, and they're going to lose. And they did. I was right. See, look at my predictions, right? Holding on, and defending Trump. Okay, so I just want to establish that before we go any further, that I'm not some grifty Trump hater I've always down for the cause. Always have been. I am a very loyal person in general. As long as you're doing right by me, I'm going to do right by you. And that's pretty much how I live my life for the most part. So just to let you all know, to date, I have never been paid to appear on any of these shows. I have never been paid by any network for my political views. I never signed a contract with anyone. And as of this moment, I'm not even monetized on social media. Like, I'm starting this podcast, we're starting from the bottom. From nothing, okay? So there's no money, there's no investors. This is all, everything you see here, Benj Studios, all me, okay? So no one is paying me to have to say or do anything, okay? Just putting that out there. What you hear from me is 100% from me to you, and that's very important to me. So I voted for Trump because I believed in his program for the country. I want to make America great again. When I voted for him, I didn't just vote for the man, or I didn't really vote for the man, as I don't know the man. I don't know Donald Trump. I've been in rooms with him. I've probably been maybe as close to maybe 4 or 5 feet away from him a couple of times, different events and things like that. Full disclosure, I have been invited to Trump Tower. I've had meetings with his daughter-in-law, Laura Trump, and I've also had meetings with, I had one meeting with his old campaign manager, Brad Parscale, back in 2020. Obviously, that didn't go much of anywhere. I gave them some advice they didn't take, and they should have taken it because he would have won in 2020 had they taken it. But whatever, it is what it is. Still on for the ride. But, I've always liked Trump, even though I don't know him. I've always liked him. I always thought he was funny. I always thought that he seemed very down to earth. He was the down to earth, billionaire. I'm born and raised in New York. So Trump has always been a part of my life. He's always been in the news, always been in tabloids. I never had any issues with Trump. I've always found him to be very entertaining. I think he's probably the most entertaining, not boring president we've ever had in my whole life. I mean, he actually is a big part of the reason why I even got into commentating on politics, or even made me interested in politics. And Trump's done that for a lot of people. So there's definitely a lot of, good there, good memories, good things having to do with, back in the day of Trump. But we have to talk about now, you know what I mean? I look at his presidency, I think his presidency, and a lot of people get mad at me for saying this, but I feel like his presidency is even more historic than Obama, because unlike Obama, Donald Trump was somebody who's never been elected to anything before. And in our 250-year history this year of this country, we've never had a president who's not been elected to anything before. Even George Washington, our first president, was a general. You know what I mean? So they've always either been elected to something before, or they've been an army general or something. Donald Trump's been none of that. He's literally the closest thing to a regular person that's ever been in office, and he talked about things like regular people, which is why that video, the video of him talking, on the debate stage, Hillary Clinton, and he's talking about how, talking about taxes and the loopholes they use. I mean, these are the things that really drew people to him, because he was telling us, spitting real game about how things really work behind the scenes, and people like that, and that's what that drew people to him. You know what I mean? It was historic. When he won in 2016, I remember I was like, it was like 2 o'clock in the morning when they found out that he won like Pennsylvania. They put that news out and was like, oh my God, like Trump is the one, like he's president. This is crazy. Like the people have stood up against the establishment and we put our guy in there. I mean, at least, that's what we hope. But in voting for Donald Trump, it was never a cult of personality for me. It was ultimately, I was voting for an agenda. I was voting for the Make America Great Again agenda, as opposed to the Democrat agenda, which put the needs of globalists, foreigners, and special grievance interests to the forefront. The MAGA agenda, as sold us by Donald Trump, was going to put Americans first. That's what he said. Trump's agenda was best positioned to service my 5 main concerns as a blue-collar working American, because I come from the blue-collar. Don't let the suit fool you. That's where I come from. I come from driving trucks, cleaning houses. Like, these are the type of jobs I've always had and I've always done. I've never been an investment banker. I don't have a college degree. I went to some college, dropped out because I had to work, and it was kind of like pointless. So, I'm regular, just like anyone else. So when I voted for Donald Trump all 3 of these times, there were 5 pillars that held up my support for him. And those were lower gas prices, lower taxes, border security, meaning, building the wall, mass deportations, getting these illegals up out of here, public safety, meaning, funding the police. And the 5th thing is putting a check on globalism, meaning no more needless spending or overseas stupid wars, incentivizing American companies to come back here and bring our manufacturing back and put our people back to work. These are the things that really drew me to him. And, as long as he stayed strong on those things, which he had for the most part, I defended him vociferously, as you can see on TV and internet comment sections in my everyday life. I mean, there were a lot of people that, as I've talked about, friends I had back in the day that, we're not friends anymore because I supported Trump, so they no longer want to be my friend. All that. And it's not just me. Many MAGA people, and most MAGA people, that's if you're black, have gone through that. We've gone through the fire with Donald Trump. But in the past few months, I've seen Donald Trump slowly begin to renege on all these policies, all these points of the agenda that held up these 5 pillars. And the thing is that when you have pillars that hold up a structure, what happens when the pillars give way? The structure starts falling down. And I would say I've been seeing some signs in Trump, things I did not like, things I'm not comfortable with, things that that make me feel like he's leaving the agenda that we put him in office for. And it's been a few months ago. So I'll tell you about this. Start with this video. This video was very shameful, probably one of the worst appearances I've ever seen of Trump. He did an interview with Laura Ingraham a few months ago talking about the possibility of letting in like 600,000 Chinese students in our country for some like deal with China or something like that. Absolutely abhorrent, ridiculous, totally against MAGA, totally against, closing the border, getting illegals and bringing our immigration down and actually helping Americans. But I do congratulate and give a shout out to Laura Ingraham here, because she definitely put his feet to the fire for MAGA folks like me and the rest of it. So this clip is from a podcast appearance, Laverne Spice's Hood Conservative. I was on with Trevian Cootie, which is my homegirl. She is a J6er. We thank God, and we thank Trump that he pardoned her. But that's what this conversation is. So that's the background. Let's watch.
This idea of hundreds of thousands of foreign students in the United States. Why, sir, is that a pro-MAGA position?
If we were to cut that in half, you would have half the colleges in the United States go out of business.
So what?
You would have, as you know, historically, black colleges and universities would all be out of business. You don't want to cut half of the people, half of the students from all over the world that are coming into our country. I don't want to do that.
I wouldn't lose any.
And don't forget, MAGA was my idea. MAGA was nobody else's idea. I know what MAGA wants better than anybody else.
This was shameful, and them to invoke the HBCUs. Chinese kids are not coming here to go to HBCU. Don't try to throw the blacks in for like sympathy here. The only Asian at HBCU was Kamala Harris, her Indian ass at Howard. I think we forget that, yes, Trump did represent a lot of us regular folks on the campaign trail on things he talked about, but he still is a billionaire. He still is an elite, and he can still be influenced by a lot of them. When Trump gets away from doing the rallies and being around the people is when he starts talking fucking crazy. Yeah. And everything I said, That I hate when I would start to see him do this thing where he's like, I know what MAGA wants, and no, like the cool thing about Trump was that Trump was always receptive to the cries of the people. So when he would go out and do something crazy and he get a little off, MAGA comes online, we go on Twitter, we go on X, and we're like, oh hell no. We start typing our little typing fingers, oh hell no. Wrap this shit up, get this shit together. This is not it, Trump. No, we're not fucking with this. No. And many times he would, get it right back together. He'd snap right back together real quick. He says, okay, well, the base is not feeling this, and would snap back together, which is great because that's something that we're not used to, because I can tell you right now, the Democrats ain't doing that, okay? Like, whatever their program is, you better get the fuck with it because they're not changing shit for you. Whereas with Trump, when the MAGA base did cry out, through influencers, on the internet, whatever, he paid attention. We can always tell when, he would start something and was kind of like, yeah, not very good. We go off with him, and he would slowly, run that back. Like the biggest example would be from during the COVID situation. He was talking at a rally about like the COVID vaccine, and like everybody started booing him. Boo, but like, yeah, we're not doing the COVID vaccine. No, like we understand that's like your boomer thing. You're happy to see that America came together to do that, and I understand that. But no, we're not doing the vaccine. Like, no, boo, boo, boo. Did that, reeled them back in line. But I've been noticing over the past few months, that's not been working. Like he'd been just going against just major principles, like the bedrock principles of the MAGA movement, and he'll go and say like, I am MAGA. It's like, no, you are not MAGA. We are MAGA. We the people are MAGA. You work for us. You're our vehicle. Like you represent us in those rooms. It's not that we represent you. You represent us. So what the populism movement, the MAGA movement, you're supposed to go in those rooms and make sure that you're speaking for us, because at the end of the day, without us, and Trump used to understand this, without us, he's nothing. Without us getting him back in office, the Democrats would have put him in jail or something. You know what I mean? Like we are the wind beneath his wings. Without us, without the people, there is no Trump. And I feel like he used to know that, but he's starting to forget that, and we have to be honest about that. Here's another shameful video. This one has like all of my scribbles on it. It was on my Instagram story. He was caught in, and this is a more recent video. This is like from like the past few weeks. He was caught in a private donor deal thing, whatever. And basically he was saying that he's not here for like healthcare. He's here for like wars. And that should be like a state thing or something. Like it's disgusting. Let's just watch it here. Absolutely shameful.
Don't send any money for daycare, because the United States can't take care of daycare. That has to be up to a state. We can't take care of daycare. We're a big country. We have 50 states. We have all these other people. We're fighting wars. Don't send any.
So the United States can take care of daycare for our children, our future. But we can spend like $2 billion a day on a needless war. We're just like literally taking money, throwing it in the sky, blowing it up on fire every day. And that's like fine for a war that we didn't even need. We'll get to the war. I don't want to go too much into that now. But we can pay for a war, but paying for daycare. And again, I'm not a welfare person. I'm not saying that we need socialism or anything like that of that nature. But let's just look at what this really is here. If we're looking at a war, which ultimately is for Israel, no matter what you want to say about it. I mean, who's in the neighborhood of Iran? We're not in their neighborhood. Israel's in their neighborhood. So no matter what we do, no matter what we say, no matter what intercontinental ballistic missiles or whatever they may have, it's always going to benefit Israel more than us, because Israel's their next door neighbor. We're not. We have a whole ocean between us. So we can say, F the American people, F healthcare, F the wall, F all the things that we were supposed to have for us, but you're want to fight a war. I think you're saying it's up to the states to do that. It's like this is absolutely crazy. Then there's the infamous Epstein exchange from the cabinet meeting. I know everybody remembers this. This is a infamous video. Let's play it.
Resolve whether or not he did, and also could you say why there was a minute missing from the jailhouse tape on the night of the set?
Yeah, sure. If
could I just interrupt for 1 second? Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time, and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this, where we're having some of the greatest success and also tragedy with what happened in Texas. It just seems like a desecration, but you go ahead.
Sure. First, to back up on that, in February, I didn't.
We don't even need to go into what Pam Bondi was talking about here, because, I mean, she was fired anyway, so, I mean, whatever. But even this, just the hubris, just the way in which, now I will say this, Epstein was never my issue. Now, there were a lot of people, a lot of MAGA people who were done at this point. They were like, oh, no, I'm done. You know what I mean? After the Epstein thing. The Epstein thing was never a big deal for me. I more so, again, we talked about what my 5 pillars were. Those are things I vote for: the lower gas prices, lower taxes, border security, public safety, and putting a check on globalism. So Epstein, I guess that kind of can go into the globalism thing, but it wasn't something that affected my life. You know, obviously I don't want a pedo cabal of rich millionaires molesting kids. I mean, no one wants that. Obviously, get rid of that, however we can. But my thing with the Epstein thing was always, well, what happened to it under Obama? What happened to it under Biden? Like, the Epstein thing is not a new thing. You know what I mean? So for them to lay it all at the feet of Trump was kind of like, And people were saying that, Trump's in Epstein files. My defense with that would always be, well, if Trump were in the Epstein files, like actually doing anything, if he, raped children or something, God forbid, why the hell would the Democrats sit on that for like 8 years? Like, if Donald Trump were a child rapist, wouldn't it be just easier just to like air that out in like 2016, ruin his entire campaign, and y'all would have had to spend $2 billion on Hillary and $1.5 billion on Kamala just to lose? Because I wouldn't have voted for Trump behind that if they would have put something like that. If they had real evidence for that, I wouldn't have voted for that. I don't think most people would have voted for that. So why not? That's what made me kind of feel like, I feel like the Epstein thing is like very Russiagate all over again, very much let's just have something playing in the background that we can always go back to, kind of like the racism thing and all that. Let's have that play in the background so if we have nothing else to say, we can say, Trump's a racist, he's a pedo protector. Now that's the thing is pedo protector and whatever. So it wasn't really my issue, but I must say, for those whose issue it was, they made this a thing. They promised this. He talked about on the camera trail, we're going to do the Epstein files, we're going to do JFK files, we're going to do the MLK files. These are things that he said. So you can't say these things on the campaign trail, get people all jazzed up about it, and then want to like pull back at the last minute and say, oh, now we're not talking about that. And it's like, what would make you do a 180 like that? And then what made it even worse was his Truth Social, and the Truth Social's getting him in a lot of trouble. I don't know if I understand why he did it after Twitter and they banned him, which was wrong back after 2020 or whatever. But somebody needs to take his phone. Okay, so let's look at this here. This is the very famous tweet in which social truth, whatever, in which he says he no longer wants support. So let's just read this right quick to give everybody this is from July 16, 2025. 9:43 a.m. He loves to do these in the morning. Let's give everybody a refresher here. So this is Donald Trump. The radical left Democrats have hit pay dirt again. Just like with fake and fully discredited Steele dossier, the lying 51 intelligence agents, the laptop from hell, which the Dems swore came from Russia. No, it came from Hunter Biden's bathroom. And even the Russia scam itself. A totally fake and made-up story used in order to hide crooked Hillary Clinton's big loss in the 2016 presidential election. These scams and hoaxes are all the Democrats are good at. It's all they have. They are no good at governing, no good at policy, and no good at picking winning candidates. Also, unlike Republicans, they stick together like glue. Their new scam is what we will forever call the Jeffrey Epstein hoax. And my past supporters, have brought into this BS hook, line, and sinker. They haven't learned their lesson and probably never will, even after being conned by the lunatic left for 8 long years. I've had more success in 6 months than perhaps any president in our country's history. And all these people want to talk about with strong prodding by the fake news and the success-starved Dems is a Jeffrey Epstein hoax. Let these weaklings continue forward and do the Democrats' work. Don't even think about talking of our incredible and unprecedented success because I don't want their support anymore. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Make America great again. I don't want their support anymore. It's crazy. So because you didn't keep your promise to be transparent on Epstein fully until he absolutely had to. I mean, they made him and pushed him to release whatever. And some people are saying that even what's been released, the 3 million documents, whatever, is still not everything. There's a lot of things that have loopholes in it or whatever. People say, I don't know, because Epstein wasn't my issue. But my issue is just the fact that you made this your issue, sir. You promised this, and you're now reneging on it. And now that you're reneging on it, you're then blaming the people. You made like now it's the people's fault. Like that's crazy. This is where these are all things that just made me just start to be very uncomfortable with him. Like, this is absolutely nuts. Absolutely nuts. So once we go, get through Epstein, I kind of was like, okay, we're getting through that, whatever. I see why people are upset with him over that. I see why people are leaving him and leaving the MAG movement over that. But if that was your big thing for you, and that in the 2024 hodgepodge of MAGA, because again, it wasn't just the Trump loyalists got him elected. It was, the Maha moms. It was a lot of libertarians, a lot of people that just wanted the Epstein files, because the Epstein files represented more than just the sexual stuff and the salacious stuff. It just represented billionaire elites getting away with literal murder, and people wanted you to be the person. You were our champion, supposedly, to do that, and you didn't do it. And when people call you out on it, now it's the people's fault. Come on, Donnie. Like, come on. So even after all this, I kept holding on, held on to Trump. I said, okay, we're going to hold on, whatever, not a big deal. Epstein, let's just get back to, the big things, the lower gas prices, the lower taxes, the border security, public safety, and, putting a check on globalism. Those are my things. To get back to he's working on my things. Those are the things I'm worried about. Then February 28th happened, and we get ourselves into a war. Even after he did the first strike in Iran, wasn't really into that, but I said, well, we'll see what happens. I try not to judge Trump right away because, a lot of times, the media, all these people are against him, so they want you to kind of jump out and be like, say all these things, but they don't necessarily see the full scale. So I try to give, when Trump does something I don't necessarily like, I try to give it like 3 days to a week, so I can see the full story, get the fullness of what's going on. Obviously, I don't have the intelligence that they have, so I don't want to jump out and just say random things. And also, I know that the media, the Democrats, they're going to push it, they're going to make it a thing, so I don't necessarily want to just jump out. I like to give it a little bit of time. So he did that first strike on Iran, and I mean, don't love war, but he said that they obliterated the nuclear whatever, obviously the whole nuclear argument, and this is where a lot of people are going to be mad at me. Nuclear argument with Iran kind of seemed weird to me because it's like, we can't ever let them get a nuclear weapon. But again, love America, patriotic American, but who are we to say that? Like, how are we going to stop them? Are we going to kill them all? Like, how are we going to stop them from getting, even with the JCPOA and whatever, with the enrichment, and we're checking, this is still a sovereign country. They can still get nuclear from China or Russia or any island, and be like, what's going to stop them? How are we going to stop them by force, by doing it? The only way we could stop them from doing that would be by diplomacy, to make it more worth it for them not to do it than to do it. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way that we were going to physically stop them unless we were going to go in and just kill everybody and go to war. And speaking of war, I never thought in a million years that we would actually be going to war, that we'd be in the war that we are right now, because I remember this guy. This is the guy I voted for. Remember this guy? This guy. We love this guy. Let's go back to this guy. Oh boy. Okay, so my file is not playing. Very annoying. Hold on. Let me find another video of this. Lord. Well, these. Let's see. Let me find the other video. Actually, I have it in my phone. Let me take it from my phone. So nuts. But anyway, this is Donald Trump and his many overtures of no war. Let me see if I can find that real quick. If not, we'll just go past it. But basically, in this video, and he was saying how he wasn't for war. Many times he said that he wasn't for war. So I don't. Let me see. I can finally find the file. Let me find the file. Hold on. Very annoying to have these little snafus here, but which file is it? Okay, it's this one.
These war hawks, they want to draft your kids to die in wars, and they will never fight themselves. We'll stay around the country for 15 years, just bomb the hell out of everybody, make everybody miserable. Nobody knows why we're there, the wars that never end. These endless wars that we've been in, I've gotten us out of so many. We don't want to get into wars. We're tired of fighting. I'm the only president in the last 84 years that didn't start a war. Under Trump, we will have no more wars. No more wars. No more wars. We will have prosperity and peace. We will have prosperity and we will have peace. Remember, I'm the president of peace. They said, he will start a war. I'm not going to start a war. I'm going to stop wars. He's going to start a war. I said, no, no, no. My rhetoric is going to keep us out of wars, and that's what happened. My proudest legacy will be that of a peacemaker. That's what I want to be, a peacemaker.
So, can you see by that little montage there why going to war or being at war is like a total freaking shock? Because never in a million years would I have thought that this is where we would be with a guy that I voted for saying things like that, and not just one time, two times, many times. That was actually, there's actually a longer video. That's a 1 minute section of that video. That video was actually more than twice that time of just him talking about not going to war, not wanting war, you know, being the president of peace. I mean, wasn't this the guy who said that he should get the Nobel Peace Prize because he stopped 8 wars, and yet we're at war? So I don't get that. And for me, I've always been a person, ever since I was a kid, my first experience with war was the Gulf War, the war back in, 90, 91 under Daddy Bush, the father Bush or whatever. And I remember I was probably maybe like 7, 8, 9 years old, and I went to my mom, and I was just like, because we were watching it on TV, and there was, the bomb exploding, what we're seeing now, and like, in Lebanon and in Iran and in Tel Aviv and whatever now that we're seeing. And I was seeing the bomb drop, and I'm just like, why are we at war? And my mother was telling me that it was about oil or whatever, at the time. And I just remember telling her, like, why all these people have to die? I had to have been like 8 or 9 at this time. And I was just like, well, if President Bush and Saddam Hussein want to go to war, why don't they just get in the ring and fight themselves and not have all these other people die? It's a very simplistic way of looking at things. Obviously, I was a kid, I was 8, but in reality, that still hasn't changed. Why are we getting ourselves and our people involved in this war that none of the people want? It doesn't make any sense. But after those strikes on the initial strike on Iran that obliterated, allegedly, the nuclear stockpile, which obviously we see that now is a lie. And after the Venezuela thing, all these things that were kind of like, okay. February 28th, we finally did go to war. Basically, just to give a synopsis, and I said this in a previous video, but Israel came. They came with intelligence telling, what they always tell everybody. Oh, Iran, they're going to hit, the United States with a nuclear weapon, and they have an intercontinental ICBM, and they're going to do it in like 5 minutes. And mind you, he does this with every administration. Did it with Trump, did it with Biden, he did it with Obama. Like, this is what Netanyahu comes here and does to try to convince us to fight his wars. The only person that didn't do it, everybody else didn't do it, but then Trump did. So, we get into this war, and now we have people dying, and at first it was the nuclear thing, then it became the Strait of Hormuz, and now because it's stopping, our gas prices, of course, went up like crazy with this war, and now we're worried about the Strait of Hormuz, and that's the thing. But then Trump says, well, we don't really need the Strait. But it's like, if we don't need the Strait, then why are our gas prices going up? And like, why are we involved in this war? Like why did you do this? What was the point of this? So then when you start looking into why he did this, you have to start looking into donations and things of that nature. And I mean, one of the reasons why we elected a billionaire was he's supposed to be self-funded, at least he was at the beginning. We don't necessarily like people coming in that aren't self-funded, or just how these regular politicians are, because they can be swayed by the money and by big contributors. And who are these contributors? Let's take a look at some of them. Here's one. Here's a big one. Miriam Adelson. Miriam Adelson is a dual citizen of the United States and Israel. And this is her. This is Trump talking about her. And mind you, irony wasn't lost on me that he's standing standing in front of an Israeli flag.
Miriam,
okay?
Stand up, please. She really is. I mean, she loves this country. She loves this country. Her and her husband are so incredible. We miss him so dearly. But I actually asked her, I'm going to get her in trouble with this, but I actually asked her once, I said, so Miriam, I know you love Israel. What do you love more, the United States or Israel? She refused to answer. That might mean Israel, I must say. Miriam, stand up, please. She really is. I mean, she loves this country.
And here we go. And here's another one. Here's Trump again at the Israeli-American Council.
You know, Miriam and Sheldon would come into the White House probably almost more than anybody outside of people that work there. And they were always after, and as soon as I'd give them something, always for Israel. As soon as I'd give them something, they'd want something else. I said, give me a couple of weeks, will you please? You know, Miriam and Sheldon.
Miriam and Sheldon Adelson, they wanted something for Israel for their money. It's been reported that they have given Trump like $150 million in donations, and they wanted something for it. They wanted a war. They want to take out Iran because Iran is who is holding Israel back from taking over and being the hegemon, being the leader in the region. So if they can convince us that Iran is our problem, then we fight their war for them, right? And then we have people right now like Mark Levin on Fox News who has become like Trump's like closest advisor. I don't know where he got this weirdo from. And let's see his interaction with him.
Israel.
Hold on.
Now, if you notice here, we know that Donald Trump is very much, he's very like alpha. He very, remember all the times we would see him at the NATO summits, he would push the world leaders out the way and come to the front and whatever, and be that guy. So it's just very weird here to see Mark Levin literally manhandling our president. He's not doing anything about it. Kind of crazy here, little nuts.
And he loves Israel too.
It's true.
2 seconds.
Look at that body language.
6 years ago, I was up here, and I said, this is our first Jewish president. This is our first Jewish president. This is our first Jewish president.
This is our first Jewish president? Really?
Now he's the first Jewish president to serve two not consecutive presidencies. We thank you for everything. We thank you.
Israel.
So, the Israel lobby, as you can see, has a really, really tight hold on Trump. And I mean, they've been doing this forever with everybody, but for whatever reason, Trump is the guy. I personally feel like what they did was they told Trump, look, the intelligence, the Israeli intelligence, the Mossad told him, look, they're going to have a bomb and they're going to have a nuclear bomb. We can go in and we can take their nuclear, take out the Ayatollah, do it all in one weekend, free the people, and then you'll look like their hero. And I think that's how Trump ended up falling for this. Because if we look back even at John Kerry's giving me an interview here. John Kerry was Obama's Secretary of State. He talks about how Bibi Netanyahu and the Israel lobby came to them too, but they weren't foolish enough to actually fall for it, unlike Trump.
You've probably sat across the table from Prime Minister Netanyahu more than almost anyone else out there, and he and Israel are, of course, big factors here. There's been recent reporting, you probably saw in the New York Times, that Netanyahu was taken into the situation where he basically pitched Trump on attacking Iran. Were you ever part of any conversations like that? I know he's made that pitches to past administrations. Were you ever a part of that? And were you surprised that he was able to convince Trump to do this?
Well, I was part of any number of conversations with Prime Minister Netanyahu, conversations that took place in other countries.
Pitching the U.S. to strike Iran.
Yes, he wanted us to strike. He came to President Obama. He made a presentation to ask to strike. President Obama refused. President Biden refused. President Bush refused. The only president who has agreed to this, obviously, is President Trump. And it's really...
Here we go. The only president, Biden refused, Obama refused. And for whatever reason, Trump decides to do this, which I believe that they appealed to his ego. I do. I think they appealed to his ego, and then he went and did this foolishness. And now we're to a point where the war's starting, and Iran is not relenting. They killed the Ayatollah, okay? And they killed like 50 other people or whatever that were underneath him, and yet they're not going anywhere because Iran's goal and our goal in this war, two very different goals. Iran's goal is just to stay alive. As I said in a previous video, there was a quote during the Afghanistan war in which the Afghanis said, the Taliban said, that the U.S. may have all the clocks, but we have all the time. They will wait us out. They're not spoiled like we are. They're used, unfortunately, to bombs dropping and fire and casualties and all these casualties. These people have been at war forever. They know war. The people, I've seen videos online of like when bombs drop, the people start shouting out Allahu Akbar. They're not scared. They're not going anywhere. They're rallying around their government. They feel like we are the enemy, like we're coming in, us and Israel are coming in and bombing them and messing up their way of life. You know, they see them, Israel's a little Satan, we're the big Satan, according to them. So I don't know what they thought that he was just going to just magically just give this whole thing up. And now they're causing all kinds of trouble with, you know, overseas shipping lanes because there are mines now in the Strait of Hormuz. And it's affecting everybody, but supposedly it doesn't affect us, but then our gas prices are high. So, like, what really is it? I mean, what they're employing is something called the mosaic defense, meaning that there is no central place in which the fighting is coming from in Iran. So we can take out their navy and their army and all these things they keep saying, their army, their navy's at the bottom of the sea and their air force. It doesn't really matter when you have these people that can manufacture hundreds of thousands of cheap drones that are taking us millions of dollars to intercept. Like, they know that this is not sustainable for the world. They know that all they have to do is just wait us out. And that's what they're doing right now. So, in Trump's frustration, he hit a new low. This was probably like the lowest of the low. On Easter Sunday, in his frustration with the war, Donald Trump puts this Truth Social post out. And I'm sure you probably heard it, but let's go over it one more time. And it says, Tuesday, this is Sunday morning, 8:03 in the morning. People haven't even went to church yet. They didn't even go to church yet, and you're putting this crap out. 8:03 in the morning, Sunday morning, Easter Sunday morning, the holiest day in Christianity. This is our president who's supposedly representing the Christians, right? Tuesday will be Power Plant Day and Bridge Day, all wrapped up into one in Iran. There will be nothing like it. Open the effing strait, you crazy bastards, or you will be living in hell. Just watch. Praise be to Allah, President Donald J. Trump. Really, Donnie? Was this necessary on Easter? There are some people who are you know, on real hot, hard ass copium that are trying to make this look like something more like than the bullcrap it is. They're saying, oh well, he's being tough. This doesn't sound tough to me. This sounds desperate. Someone who's winning, someone who has holds all the cards, would not be crashing out like this. This was a crash out. These are times where I wish that Melania or someone would be like, maybe not send that. You know, maybe let's not put that out as the leader of the free world because you sound like a crazy, nutso, autocrat, dictator, crazy person. And we're talking about power plants and bridges. I mean, these are for civilian infrastructure. Like, we're not this country. We're not this banana republic that's always just killing random people. That may be how Israel gets down. That's not how America gets down. Like, and I know we've done plenty of horrible things. I know people can say we did this, we did that, but we're at least with the horrible things, they at least were hidden from the American people. We're supposed to not actually be this, to the point where they have enough respect for us, the American people, to hide it. I like the transparency, obviously. Don't hide things, I guess, but don't do this. Like, don't do this. This is terrible. This is terrible. And then he followed up with another Truth Social 2 days later. This was on the Tuesday that was a power plant day. This is early that Tuesday morning, 8 o'clock in the morning. A whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again. I don't want that to happen, but it probably will. However, now that we have complete and total regime change, which is, okay, yeah, regime change, like you killed the regime, but you didn't change anything. Now his son is involved or whomever, but it's still the same regime. So what do you mean? Like, what are you talking about? Anyway, now that we have complete and total regime change, where different, smarter, and less radicalized minds prevail, maybe something revolutionarily wonderful will happen. Who knows? We can find out tonight in one of the most complex moments in the long and complex history of the world. 47 years of extortion, corruption, and death will finally end. God bless the great hero of Iran. So 47 years, he's making a reference to the fact that we've been in little skirmishes, conflict, whatever, with Iran for the last 47 years, but there's not been a war to this extent. I don't think that's the same. And then why would you do this now, again, when the American people are in need? Healthcare is a mess. Infrastructure is a mess. Doge, what happened to the Doge cuts? What happened to the Doge dividend? What happened to all that stuff? None of that stuff happened, but you can find energy to put into this war and possibly, and I know a lot of it's rhetoric, but even just the saying that you're going to wipe out a civilization, that's not who we are as Americans. That's not America. I'm sorry. It's not America. It's not. And anyone who's trying to say it is not. That is not America. I'm sorry. That is not America. That's not who we are. We're the reason why we have the respect we have. We're a global superpower. Yes, obviously there's the military and things of that nature. We have the best military, I get all that. But we're also a just country. We're also the country that can go in and solve problems between other countries because we are the just country. We are the country that does things the right way, that has humanity and rights and things of that nature, and that we're not out just randomly killing people and assisting Israel in freaking ethnic cleansing. Like, we're not that country. That's what gives us the respect that we have. Like, that's why we have it, because we're not that country. So after this, we get a ceasefire, which, okay, awesome. I was like, okay, good, ceasefire, good, we're good direction, Trump. Okay, ceasefire. Let's end this. Let's bring our troops back. Let Israel do whatever they're going to do over there. Israel, do you? But we don't want to be a part of this. Trump standing up to Israel. Ceasefire, awesome. Okay, let's watch the clip from Fox about the ceasefire.
In the war, they're not too happy with the details, but they say it's President Trump's decision to make. The Iranian response was to fire another missile at Israel. It wasn't 5 minutes from the time that Truth Social post went up that our phones lit up with another incoming missile. This missile was intercepted over Jerusalem. The shrapnel came down. We've got no word of any injuries. It should be noted that word had gone out through the IDF that we should anticipate a lot of missile fire tonight, and they have not taken that down yet. So that's a situation right now. Sometimes we see here in the Middle East that they will fire one just to be defiant at the end, but it's also possible that word hadn't gotten out to the rocket crew. Laura?
Mike, so your view?
Well, the Israelis, for what they know so far with the details in this 2-week delay in the war, they're not too happy with the details, but they say as President Trump.
Right, I want you to hear that part. Israel was not happy with the details of this ceasefire. So obviously Israel wants the war to go on because they want to expand and they need us because they don't have the military power to actually do this type of war. So of course they want to leave us in a war. Israel does not want a ceasefire. So this is what we're saying. Let's see what Benjamin Netanyahu is saying about this ceasefire. And the ceasefire was originally for not just us and Iran, but it also was for Lebanon as well, because Iran tends to be, I'm noticing they're like the big brother to all the other Arab states in the region, and they tend to try to protect all of them from Israeli aggression. So let's see what Benjamin Netanyahu said, because I don't think Bibi got the call for the ceasefire. You continue to stand firm. Oh, I'm doing translation because he's for the listening audience. I'm doing translation because he's saying this, I guess, in Hebrew. So he's saying, I would like to tell you there is no ceasefire in Lebanon. We will continue to vigorously clamp down on Hezbollah. We will not stop until we restore your security. Our monumental achievements both in Iran and against the axis of evil have brought about a historic change in Israel's image in the region. They also brought about a change in our relations with countries with ties that did not exist before. After repeated requests from the Lebanese government to open peace negotiations with us, I led the cabinet last night to open direct negotiations with Lebanon to achieve two goals. One, disarming Hezbollah, and the other, a historic and lasting peace agreement between Israel and Lebanon. Israel is stronger than ever. Iran is weaker than ever. I have already brought 4 peace agreements from Arab countries. I intend to bring more. True peace, peace from strength. Now, what Bibi doesn't say in that video with his peace with Iran, with peace with Lebanon, he wants a piece of Lebanon. That's peace with Lebanon requires him taking a piece of Lebanon and Lebanon being cool with that. Because that's what this was. They were firing on southern Lebanon from northern Israel because they want to take that piece, because they ultimately want a larger, greater Israel project that we are the useful idiots, the United States, in getting them involved in getting. That's what this is about. It's not about us. Because remember, they're talking about this intercontinental ballistic missile, but if Iran has an intercontinental ballistic missile that can hit the United States, we have a whole ocean between us. So if we can't detect this intercontinental ballistic missile over a full 3,000-4,000 miles of open ocean, in which if this thing travels at the speed of sound, 700 miles an hour, it's going to take at least 5 hours to get here. So we have a missile sitting over 5 hours of sitting over open ocean for 5 hours, and we can't intercept that and throw the whole damn army away. Then what's the point of the army? What's the point of the Air Force? Like, this is ridiculous. Iran is not a threat to the United States. I don't care what anybody. I don't have to be a freaking, overseas freaking military scholar for common sense. That's common sense. Common sense would dictate that they don't have a weapon that can get here, and if it did get here, we would obliterate it, and then we just obliterate them off the face of the earth, which again would be fine if it were something that was that they hit us first. You know what I mean? Like, this is the rationale behind this is the possibility of intercontinental ballistic missile, and then like stuff that's been going on for like 47 years, but like no one else has sought to like do this, but like now we have to avenge this at this time. Why now? Like, we're not even in a strong place in our country, in our economy to do this. We can't afford this. So why would we be doing this now? Like, this, it makes no sense. So after this ceasefire, then the other day we started doing negotiations. There was a ceasefire, and let's go. They sent J.D. Vance, the vice president, out to Pakistan to do negotiations. Let's see how those went.
Help us and the Iranians bridge the gap and get to a deal. We have been at it now for 21 hours, and we've had a number of substantive discussions with the Iranians. That's the good news. The bad news is that we have not reached an agreement, and I think that's bad news for Iran much more than it's bad news for the United States of America. So help us and the Iranians bridge the gap and get to a deal. We have been at it now for...
So, no freaking deal. No ceasefire, and I mean, as you can hear, he's been asking for them to just give up their whole nuclear whatever. Again, not a fan of Iran, but if Iran has us by the balls right now, and they do with this Strait of Hormuz thing, everyone's afraid to put their ship through because there are mines there allegedly, and who the hell wants a $2, $3, $4 million ship to get blown up and die going through a strait? Like, no, what? Remember, these are regular people that do these container ships. Like, these are regular people. So it's like, why would I risk my people's lives out there for something that may blow up? And then the insurance companies are not wanting to pay to have these people go through, because who the hell wants to pay for insurance on that? Like, so Iran's got us by the balls right now. They just do, as far as that's concerned. And now we're asking them to get rid of their whole nuclear. So now Iran can just have no nuclear whatever. Like, now we're back to complete and total surrender. Iran's going to have to neuter themselves, cut their balls off, and just totally just submit to the U.S. and Israel. Do we really think that's going to happen for real? Like, really? You think that's going to happen? Like, just being honest, like, just being me and you here, like us talking. Is that really going to happen? Are they going to do that, you think, really? You think Iran's going to be like, yeah, let's just totally just give our total sovereignty and just grovel at the feet of our enemy of the great... Remember, they call us Satans. So as Christians, I'm a Christian, I'm not giving up nothing to Satan. F Satan. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not doing that if I'm a follower of God. Like, you know what I mean? So if they're following their thing and they consider us evil, like the devil, you really expect them to capitulate and just be like, okay, well, yeah, totally, America, just come in, we're going to bow down, and you just take everything we have, and, you can come in and just essentially just run our country. Do you really think they're going to do that with Iran? Like, this Persia, this large country of 90 million people, they're surrounded by mountains. They're a fortress. They've gotten this far. They've already taken out. They took down one of our ships. Well, allegedly, they're saying it's a laundry fire. Other people are saying different. They took one of our planes down. Like, why would they stop now? Like, they don't. Their capacity for fighting, it's way stronger than ours. We're spoiled Americans here. You know what I mean? Like, we're not used to the bombs flying and things like that. They're used to this. They look at this as their existential survival. We're just on like a dummy mission from Israel. Like, but this is their life. Like, they're way more vested in this than we are. And all they got to do is just wait, just hold it out. That's the Mosaic defense. Just hold it out. Asymmetric warfare, whatever. We're bigger, we're strong, whatever. But all our shit's way more expensive than their shit. And all they got to do, if they just hit one ship in that channel, it's a wrap, because no one's going to want to go out there after that. And they know that. So they have that on their side. They know that. And now this was just really shocking. Here's Bibi Netanyahu saying that J.D. Vance and Trump, that they report directly to him on a daily basis. Like, we're reporting this guy. Like, how the hell is the United States of America, the largest, most powerful country in the world, we are reporting to this guy who leads a country the size of New Jersey on 9 million people. We're reporting to him now. Listen to this.
I spoke yesterday with Vice President J.D. Vance. He called me from his plane on the way back from Washington. He reported to me in detail, as the people of this administration do every day, on the development of the negotiations. In this case, the explosion in the negotiations, the explosion came from the American side, which was not willing to tolerate the blatant violation of the agreement to enter negotiations by Iran. Essentially, the agreement was that there would be a ceasefire and Iran would immediately open the crossings. They didn't do that. The Americans were not willing to accept it. He also conveyed to me that the central issue on the table from the perspective of President Trump and the United States is the removal of all enriched material and ensuring that there is no more enrichment in the coming years, and this could be for decades. I spoke yesterday with Vice President J.D. Vance.
We're saying no enriched material, no nothing, bow down, cut your balls off, and we're just do whatever the hell we tell you to do. Like, you don't have a country no more. You don't got to say, we're coming in, we're going to do whatever the hell we want, and you're going to have to bow down and just take it. Did you really think they were going to take that deal after, remember, we killed the Ayatollah? The guy that's the Ayatollah's son left, we done killed his mama, his daddy, his kid, like, and then we think they're going to be like, okay, like, really? Why would they do that? Like, think, but would you do that if you went, like, put yourself in Iran's place? Would you do that? Probably not. So, I mean, what I don't understand what they're expecting of us. Like, this makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. None. So now that these talks have kind of fallen off, we're doing a naval blockade on the Strait that wasn't blocked before, because we're blocking their block. So they're blocking the Strait of Hormuz. So I guess, like, now our remedy to that is to go and now block their blockade. So now that's the thing. So now we have naval ships going there that are going to be put in danger because, God forbid, they drone any of them or whatever. A lot of people could die. This could be terrible. This can literally be World War III. So we're doing this now, and let's see about this naval blockade they're doing now. They report about it on Fox.
Blockade on Iranian ports around the Strait of Hormuz. President Trump overnight on Truth Social said, quote, the United States to blockade ships entering or exiting Iranian ports on April 13th at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Now, the Iranian military is warning that no Gulf ports will be safe if their own ports are threatened. We understand there are a variety of contingencies in place, and U.S. Central Command says that humanitarian vessels and regular commercial ships not coming from Iran will be allowed to use the Strait of Hormuz. CENTCOM releasing a statement of their own this weekend saying the blockade will be enforced impartially against vessels of all nations entering or departing Iranian ports and coastal areas, including all Iranian ports on the Arabian Gulf and Gulf of Oman. CENTCOM forces will not impede freedom of navigation for vessels transiting the Strait of Hormuz to and from non-Iranian ports. President Trump this weekend speaking about the situation, saying this.
Other nations are working so that Iran will not be able to sell oil, and that will be very effective. But what we want to do is and again, we don't need it. What we notice and what we see and what I think is maybe my idea, maybe not, I don't know. But there are many boats heading toward our country to fill up with oil and then go and take it. So they're not going to go through the Hormuz Strait. And ultimately, that'll be corrected.
With a focus on Iran, there's also a focus on Lebanon, where...
So, okay. So now we're blockading their blockade. And it's going to cause, from what Trump is saying, it's going to cause people to buy oil from us, which, okay, that sounds good. But we're blockading their blockade. Now we're sending our people there, and then we don't need it. But if we don't need it, then why are you throwing your whole presidency away over something that we don't need? Like, no one wants this war. Incredibly unpopular. You know, we have Republicans. The chance of Republicans now losing the Senate is a thing now. It wasn't a thing before. It's a thing now. You know, that's a thing now. So you're torpedoing your presidency, the Republican Party, the midterms, all of something that we don't necessarily need. I mean, I whatever Trump is talking about, whatever winning looks like, I would love that to happen. I want us to win. Like, please don't think that I don't want us to win. I'm not a doom naysayer, Iran love person. I would love for us to win. Whatever winning looks like. I mean, really, I want us just to come home and just be the hell out of this thing altogether. But if there's a win here, if it causes America to be better, and the promise of, I guess, more oil, I mean, okay. But my question is it worth it? Is it worth all that we're losing right now? Because I'm not seeing wins here. Like, this war is highly unpopular, like highly unpopular. People are pissed over this. Trump is losing support, hemorrhaging support. Is it worth it, though, for whatever this is? That's the real question. Yeah, the real question here is always, is this Iran juice worth the squeeze? I'm not very sure that it is at this point. I'm really not. For him to lose everything, I mean, that oil thing, that sounds nice. I mean, okay, that sounds good, but when would that happen? How would that happen? Is it happening before the midterms? All those things. You know what I mean? So it's just not looking very good here. And for this full-on, naval invasion that we're doing with this blockade and all that, with the oil that we don't necessarily, need or use or whatever, it ain't cheap. Let's look at how much some of this stuff is actually costing us in the middle of our own financial woes that the American people are having right now.
America does not have unlimited weapons of all kinds of types. According to a recent analysis that was conducted by the Payne Institute of Public Policy in Colorado, the U.S. military used up more than 11,000 munitions of different types in just the first 16 days of the war on Iran, more than at any other Western military campaign since the 2003 invasion of Iraq. Among these have been more than 850 Tomahawk cruise missiles, each one costing nearly $4 million. That's more than $3 billion just in Tomahawk cruise missiles burned through in weeks that potentially represent about a quarter of America's entire stockpile of Tomahawks that existed before the start of the war. Even worse, the Defense Department originally budgeted on acquiring just 57 new Tomahawks across 2026. More than 140 Patriot interceptor missiles and 150 THAAD interceptor missiles were also fired by U.S. forces in the opening days of the war, with inventories that were already known to be running low. The Defense Department has not received any additional deliveries of THAAD interceptors in years since 2023. They weren't expecting any more in 2026, and they were only expecting to receive another 39 of them for next year in 2027. Well, they also already used up about a quarter of their THAAD stockpiles in 2025, protecting Israel from missile strikes during the 12-day war in June.
So, you saw those Tomahawk missiles, $4 million, like a piece, millions of dollars. Like, do you understand that $1 million, like, if your average American got $100,000, $10,000, that would be like damn near life-changing for people. And that we can take $3-4 million, throw it in the sky and blow it up and burn it for nothing? Like, my gas prices, again, I come from, blue collar, come from trucking. I remember I used to be out on the road. We were spending like $2,000 a week in gas, and that was under Biden, like really, really bad on diesel, like $2,000 a week. So I'm sure we're back up to those prices again, and I feel so bad for all of my truck drivers and my people out there that are having to deal with that. So people are going broke. They're going hungry. They're making sacrifices just to live from day to day, all because of this dumbass war that y'all are spending $4 million for like one effing missile? Millions of dollars? This is nuts. There's no excuse for this. And then you heard what the video said about all the munitions that we use for the 12-day war protecting freaking Israel. Again, nothing against Jewish people. I'm not anti-Semitic, as I have to keep saying over and over again. I'm from Brooklyn, land of the Jews. More Jews in Jerusalem. Grew up around Jews my whole life. Went to school next door to yeshiva. No problem with the Jews, okay? American Jews who love America like me, you're fine. But this Israel thing is crazy. It's crazy. We're doing all this for what? What are the American people getting out of this? What do we get for this? What do we get for our money? What do we get for our treasure? We already have 15 soldiers that are dead already. For what? And that's only what we know. Because, of course, they're not going to tell us everything, fog of war, yada, yada. We're not going to find out to the end of this thing, like everything else, what it really was. We have no idea what's really going on. But what we do know is that all this money that we're burning up, that's being thrown away, that's not being put in American people. I could even see if, and again, I know conservatives were against like welfare and against like giveaways in the government, but I could even see if the President Trump were like, you know what, look, we're in this war. I understand it's hard for the American people. Let me try to figure out a way to give you guys like a subsidy for gas or something, or something to show that you actually give a F about the regular American freaking people. Like just something, anything. And we're not seeing that right now. And then people wonder why Donald Trump is losing support. I mean, hello? When you said no war, now not only do we have war, we have prices going up, and you're throwing all this money away. For what? For Israel? And mind you, Israel, did you know, Israel has, like, healthcare, education. They have all the things we want. All the things that we want, all the things like Bernie's talking about, free healthcare, education, all that shit. They got all that stuff over there. They're doing great. And they have a wall. They don't let any old migrant, Mexican, whatever the hell up in Israel. You can't just roll up in Israel like you feel like it. It don't work like that. Yet we're bankrupting ourselves, saying F our own people to help them? Really? Does this make sense? So, just when you thought the hole couldn't get any deeper, Donnie dug deeper. Then, I mean, I thought the F-bomb on Easter Sunday was low. That's probably still low. This is almost as low, though, only because of the day it was. Trump had this weird picture where he depicted himself as like Jesus, as you can see here. I don't know if you guys can see that here. So he depicted, I'm sure you guys heard about it. He depicted himself as Jesus. And, you see there's like him with the thing in his hand there, like with the miracle light in his hand. He's touching the man to heal him. There's like a nurse, doctor lady there, like praying next to him. And he has the red, shawl with the white robe, very much, Jesus. This is the Jesus costume. And, he's here. Obviously, there are people were outraged over it. I mean, people who normally ride with Trump to the end, a lot of religious people are like, oh, hell no, this is crazy. Even the people who got over, open the effing straight on Easter, they were kind of like, okay, well, now you're pushing it. This is like literally religious imagery, and this is like a bastardization. This is like, blasphemy. And this is what he says here to explain after he took it down. He did take this down, which is not something Trump does, because those other tweets, they're still up. But he did take this down after the backlash. So let's hear him explain, or rather lie about this here.
Mr. President, did you post that picture of yourself depicted as Jesus Christ?
Well, it wasn't depicted. It was me. I did post it, and I thought it was me as a doctor, and had to do with Red Cross as a Red Cross worker there, which we support. And only the fake news could come up with that one. So I just heard about it, and I said, how did they come up with that? It's supposed to be me as a doctor making people better, and I do make people better. I make people a lot better. As an example, the 11,000, I understand your husband's going through treatment.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He's going through some very serious cancer treatment, so
yes, sir.
This goes a long way.
Yes, sir, it sure does.
Yeah.
Mr. President, did you post that picture of yourself?
Now, Donnie, I don't know why you sat up there in front of people and told them lies like that. You know good and damn well what that was a depiction of. And there's other people here, like, in the tweet, Allie Beth Stuckey, who was like a Christian, MAGA influencer, or other influencers that are like trying to like make excuses for this. And it's like, come on, y'all. Like, come on. Like, come on. Like, this is the shit that gets me upset, because it's like, don't piss on my leg and tell me it's raining. Like, come, sir, you put yourself out there as Jesus, okay? Very blasphemous, very disrespectful. It was not a doctor. Where'd the Red Cross come from? There's not a Red Cross outfits. There's no Red Cross. A big part of the Red Cross is the actual Red Cross. Like that there's no Red Cross. There's no Red Cross there. And you do not have the divine, power to heal people. You don't make light come from your hands and heal people. And then some people are talking about that there's like a demon here in like the middle. I don't know if you see it there. It's like a demon, and that wasn't in the other one. So I don't know what the hell is going on. And to this point, they got people out here calling Trump the Antichrist. And these are people who are MAGA people I've seen on X. They got people out here saying that Butler was fake, which is like, I mean, I would shudder to think. I mean, Lord Jesus, I would hope that something like Butler wouldn't be fake or that it would be staged, because remember, Cory Comparator, this man was killed. This man, like a regular man, I believe he was like a former firefighter or something like that. I mean, Lord Jesus, but these are the things that people are thinking now, because this is all so crazy. That you have people like trying to fill in the dots and stuff, and like putting all types of securities and saying that, you know, Israel has something to do with this and has something to do with Charlie. You know, did Israel do Charlie? Like that's the thing now. You know what I mean? And before, people weren't saying that. But I don't know. Seems a little strange. Right after Charlie got done, Bibi Netanyahu runs to the TV and is like, "It wasn't me. That's not really something." You didn't see Giorgia Meloni or Macron or other people from that lead other countries going on TV saying it wasn't them. You know what I mean? Kind of weird. And speaking of Charlie, if we want to know how Charlie felt about this war, I believe I have a shot here from Charlie. Let me see. Hold on. Before we even get to that, after this whole thing, obviously a lot of people were upset over Easter, over the whole Easter thing. They were upset about that tweet. They're upset about this, namely, and I didn't want to mention them too much because I didn't want to get lumped in with I'm just being a hater, da-da-da-da. But we know that Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens, Alex Jones, they've all come out, against this. They come out against Trump, this war, everything he's doing right now. And he's lashed back at them in a True Social post, which I mean, like, Melania, take his phone, Melania. Let's read off this True Social post here, this rant of Trump. I know why Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens, and Alex Jones have been fighting me for years. They've not been fighting him for years. Especially by the fact that they think it's wonderful for Iran, the #1 state sponsor of terror, to have a nuclear weapon, because they all have one thing in common: low IQs. They're stupid people. They know it. Their families know it, and everyone else knows it too. Look at their past. Look at their record. They don't have what it takes, and they never did. They've all been thrown off television, lost their shows, and aren't invited on TV because no one cares about them. Let's stop here in this long rant. Bro, this is where Trump shows his boomer attitude, and this is where I know he's been advised by the wrong people. TV's dead. And you know that, Donald Trump, because what did you do to get elected? You didn't depend on TV. You went on Joe Rogan's podcast, like the biggest podcast in the world. You went on Theo Von, what was that? Theo Von, Theo Von, his podcast. You went on his podcast. You went on that one with Andrew Schultz, that podcast. He went on the other one with the little boring guy. There was like, oh my God, I forgot his name. But whatever. It was really boring. I didn't even watch it. It was like so boring. You go on all these podcasts because you know that's what the people are. That's what your people told you that the people are. You know that TV as a medium is dying. Who watches TV anymore? Hardly anybody ever. And you know that. So for you to say that they've been kicked off TV, Tucker and Megyn are doing and Candace too. But I mean, Tucker and Megyn specifically, because they want TV, are doing way better on their own, making more money, making more impact, and having the freedom to do whatever they want to do than they ever did on Fox. And you know that, Donald Trump. Like, why are you, like, you know that. So, like come on. Like, seriously? Come on. Here we go. So he says, they're nut jobs, troublemakers, and they will say anything for some free and cheap publicity. Now they think they got some clicks because they have third-rate podcasts, literally the most popular podcast in the country. You know that. But no one's talking about them. Literally, you're talking about them. The President of the United States is talking about them. So somebody's talking about them. No one's talking about them, and their views are opposite of MAGA. Here we go with this is where the left, when the left says that MAGA is a cult, this is where they get it from, because it's like you're talking like you're speaking for everyone, and you're not. And MAGA is just whatever you want it to be from one day to the next, and that's not what MAGA is. MAGA was never that. MAGA was principles. MAGA is making America great again, not doing whatever the hell Donald Trump wants to do on a random Tuesday. Or I wouldn't have won the presidential election in a landslide, with their help, mind you. MAGA agrees with me. No, the F we don't. And CNN just gave a 100% approval rating of Trump. So we're trusting CNN now. We're trusting fake news CNN's polls. I would even think that, and I thought this when they keep mentioning this CNN poll, 100% of MAGA support Trump. I wouldn't put it past CNN to have put that fake poll out there just to mess with him and just say, yeah, keep going. Because I mean, again, CNN is the enemy. So I mean, why would the enemy stop you from effing your own stuff off? If you're my enemy and I'm watching you screw yourself, I'm not going to stop you. I'm going to push you and continue on. And that's what that poll seems like it's doing. 'Cause that's like the battery in his freaking back for whatever reason. Don't know why. Okay. CNN just gave 100% approval rating of Trump, not hand-flailing fools like Tucker Carlson, who couldn't even finish college. As many of your MAGA supporters did not finish college. I said I didn't finish college either. So what does that say? So is that now we're elitists now? Like MAGA's an elite thing? I didn't know that, because I thought that MAGA was, you know, the janitors, the construction workers, the truckers, the people who didn't go to college. But now, like, you're using this as the thing to go out here. Like, did you even write this, Trump? I mean, I can tell he did because all like the crazy capitalizations, but I definitely feel like this was fed to him. This doesn't even sound like him. This is like it's retarded. Like, it makes no sense. Who didn't finish college? He was a broken man when he got fired from Fox. He's never been the same. Perhaps he should see a good psychiatrist. Or Megyn Kelly, who nastily asked me the now famous only Rosie O'Donnell question. Or crazy Candace Owens, who accuses the highly respected First Lady of France of being a man when she is not, and hopefully will win lots of money in an ongoing lawsuit. Actually, to me, the First Lady of France is a far more beautiful woman than Candace. In fact, it's not even close. Now, Donnie. If you don't know anything else, you know women. And we know you like younger women. Not saying you like underage, but you like younger women. There's no way in hell that you think that old lady who might be a man, Macron's wife, is hotter than Candace Owens. Please stop it. Like, come on. Like, but when I got to that part, when I read that, I was like, okay, now this is bullshit. Like, Donnie, really, come on, bro. Like, come on. Or bankrupt Alex Jones, who says some of the dumbest things and lost his entire fortune, as he should have, for his horrendous attack on the families of the Sandy Hook shooting victims, ridiculously claiming he is a host. Mind you, Alex Jones is someone who rode for effing Trump till the wheels fell off. Tucker, too, because a part of the reason why Tucker got fired was because he was going up against the Dominion voting systems. Remember that whole thing with 2020? They sued Fox. All that came from Tucker trying to defend your ass, your orange ass, Donnie, by saying the 2020 election was rigged. And Tucker ended up getting fired for that, for riding for you. This is what loyalty gets you to Trump? Seriously? This is what loyalty gets you. Like, it's very, very sad here. Where was I? Lord, in this long screed thing that he's been writing here. These so-called pundits are losers, and they always will be. Fake news CNN. Now it's fake news CNN, but you just cited their poll, but then they fake news. So which one is it? Are they fake or are they real? They real when they kiss your ass, but then they're fake when they're not. That's why I think that CNN poll is fake, and they probably did that shit on purpose just to make him manic like this. And all other radical left news organizations are hailing them and giving them positive press. They just gave you positive press, which are 100% of MAGA, first time in their lives. They are not MAGA. They are losers just trying to latch on to MAGA. Now, mind you, these people spoke at your rally. You had Trump at you had Tucker at your whole rally. I was at the rally, the Trump rally in Madison Square Garden, where Tucker was a big presence there. But now they're trying to latch on to MAGA. Okay. Tucker defended you on his Fox show every freaking night for years, but now he's trying to latch on to MAGA. Okay, sure. Okay. As president, I can get them on my side anytime I want to, but when they call, I don't return their calls because I'm too busy on world and country affairs. You're too busy on world affairs, okay? Like, you've forgotten about this country, clearly, because our country is like going down the tube. It's like you're concerned with rich man's wars out here and Israel's wars out here and freaking Iran. And after a few times, they go nasty. Just like Marjorie Trader Brown, he's saying brown because green terms brown. That, like, dude, just like weird. That's like the weirdest name of all. Didn't really stick. But I no longer care about that stuff. I only care about doing what's right for our country. But you're spending billions of dollars not on our country, on another country, fighting their wars so they can take over and be a bigger hegemon in their region, ignoring all the American people. Like, ignoring the American people are telling you, stop doing this. Like, hello, stop doing this. But this is about making America great again. Sure, okay. MAGA is about making America great again. And these people have no idea how to do that. I don't think you do either, sir. Just saying, look at the results. But I do, because the United States is now the hottest country anywhere in the world. President Donald J. Trump. This thing about, and I would always hate when he would say, we're the hottest country. What the fuck does that even mean? If I can't afford gas, this is not the hottest country in the world. If I can't afford my health care, maybe it's the hottest country in the world for overseas investment and big money. Okay, maybe hot for, the leaders of other nations with billions of dollars to invest. Okay, but what the fuck does that do for the average person? Not a damn thing. Doesn't do a damn thing for anyone. I'm not speaking accent, because then the Sheedians will say that I'm some type of teller. I'm sorry, full on American. But doesn't do anything for anyone. Does nothing for anyone, okay? Nothing for anyone. So, in case you're wondering, because Charlie Kirk has now been kind of elevated to sainthood amongst, the conservative right and the MAGA sphere. Let's see what Charlie Kirk had to say about the Iran war. Let's just see, let's see what Charlie had to say.
Mistake. I don't think we should bomb Iranian nuclear facilities. I just don't. I think it would be a huge mistake. It's an act of war against a major country. You go to war with Persia, it will bring your country down. The American people did not rise up in major numbers because we want war with Iran. That was never part of the deal. Okay? It was never like, hey, America first, we're going to go do a bunch of, targeted strikes on the inland of Iran. So that's just where I would say that would be a catastrophic mistake. I'm resolutely America first. I think that our own borders matter a lot more than the borders of a foreign country. And I think it's a long past time that our leaders would start to prioritize the well-being of our own citizens, not those of foreign nations. Not that crazy of a concept, right? We have so many pressing problems at home, and our leaders are internationally obsessed, and they are domestically ignorant. I don't think we should bomb Iranian nuclear facilities.
Internationally obsessed and domestically ignorant. Truer words have never been said, Charlie. You are absolutely right. They are domestically ignorant. They don't give two damns about this country. Donald Trump is not caring about America right now. I'm sorry. And I hate to say it like that, I hate to be harsh, but it's the truth. Everywhere out his mouth, every tweet, everything is about this stupid war. And what's crazy is that as much as, Trump and all the Trump people try to canonize Charlie, if Charlie were alive today, he'd be in that same freaking Truth Social right along with Candace and them. He'd be calling Charlie all kinds of dumb and low IQ and all that. That's a damn shame, but he would be, and you know it and I know it. Charlie would be right there amongst them. He'd be right on that list because he was very much against this Iran war. But just like anybody with half a brain and some damn sense could see that this was not the thing to do right now or ever. So are we shocked by that? Not at all. But for those who are thinking, because Democrats out here saying, oh, Trump is stupid. Kamala would never. Kamala would never. Yes, the hell she would. Because Kamala's getting that same AIPAC money. If you look up on the AIPAC track, I wish I had the photo on me. I don't know if I do right now. I don't think I have it on me right now. But the AIPAC tracker, she's getting money from them too. She's getting $1 million from them too. And this other video is surfaced this week where you have AIPAC literally out here bragging about how they pretty much own the Democrat Party. Here we go. Let's watch that for those Democrats who think that this is just a Republican problem. Yes, Trump was the fool to go and actually do the war, but the greater Israel funding issue is not just one side of the aisle. It's absolutely both.
Well, I appreciate the relationship that I've had with AIPAC from the very beginning of my congressional journey.
There you go, Hakeem Jeffries. You're he's not the Speaker of the House. He's the under Speaker or whatever, minority leader person, whatever. But look at him. AIPAC should go up there just cheesing for that AIPAC money, just up there cheesing.
The pro-Israel community fully embraced me.
Now, Shondell Brown, she probably the first one to call me a coon. Her supporters out there calling me a coon, I'm sure. But you cooning for that check, Shondell. I'm sure you cooning for that good AIPAC check, mama.
AIPAC played a very important role in my political campaign. I think it really helped it take off.
I want you to get into that. What does that say? AIPAC is the top fundraiser for the Congressional Black Caucus, for Black Caucus, for the Congressional Black Caucus. AIPAC is the top fundraiser. Top. So with all the problems that black folks have in this country, and all the issues and the white supremacy and the neighborhoods and the ghetto and all the things, look at who is funding the Congressional Black Caucus. Because you never know, because you see with this war, you don't see them coming out against it. Where are the Democrats coming out against the war? Where they at? Where's the Congressional Black Caucus saying this is wrong? You don't see that. They hate Trump any other day. Trump is bad. Trump is wrong. Oh, we hate Trump. Trump is a white supremacist. Where y'all at? Why y'all coming out against Gaza? Ain't Gazans, ain't they brown? I mean, y'all love the Browns now. NAACP, colored people. Everybody colored now. So wouldn't y'all be against what Israel's doing to the Browns in Palestine? Nope. Because y'all getting that AIPAC money just like the Republicans are. Let's go. Richie Torres, no. Hispanic caucus too. Ted Luke.
Thank you to everyone and AIPAC for their deep and long-standing friendship. It means a lot to me.
Yeah, they're deep and long-standing friendship. I mean, they're deep pockets, funding you, running you. And because remember, there was that one squad. There was one Congressional Black Caucus member, the squad member, Cori Bush. Remember Cori Bush? And I don't agree with her on nothing, obviously, from St. Louis. She spoke out against AIPAC, and where's she at? Primaried, because they went and bought her replacement, another black guy. This is what they do. So this Israel thing is not just a one-sided. It's not just Trump. It's just that Trump is the fool who fell for it and made it a whole big thing. This has always been brewing underneath the surface. Always. They've always had control underneath the surface. And I would say the lesson to this, what we can do on both sides of the aisle, I've been talking to Democrats about this as well, ain't no time for us to be fighting right now. We can do all that fighting and shit later, but it's for Democrats and Republicans to now going into 26, going to 28, we have to on both sides make sure that in our primaries, I'm a registered Republican, this is my registered Democrats out there, we have to make 100% sure that we are voting for no one who accepts AIPAC money. I was just on an Instagram post of Byron Donalds, endorsed by Trump, who's running for governor of Florida. And he was talking about he's running, and I said, nope. And I met Byron Donalds. That video, I met Byron Donalds. He was very nice. I met him. He did an event here in Philadelphia for Trump. I met him, in 2024. He was a very nice man. But it's a no for me. Because you're getting AIPAC money. We have to make a decision, no matter who it is, no matter how nice they are, no matter how much you met them, no matter what. We cannot vote for anybody, I don't care who they are, that is getting that AIPAC money. This AIPAC Israeli funding demon needs to be excised from our Congress. And the only way we do that is by taking the power away from their money, meaning that we, the people, have to not vote for anybody getting AIPAC money. I don't care who they are. For me, 2028, I'm not voting for anybody in this Trump cabinet. Period. I don't care who it is. I don't care who's running. J.D. Vance, hell no. Marco Rubio, hell no. If Trump runs again, hell no. Not voting for him either. Because they're all run, bought, and paid for by Israel. This is all about Israeli control, and it's not anti-Semitic to say that. For all of my lovely our lovely Jewish Americans, y'all a whole different subject than what's happening in the secular state of Israel established in 1948 that buys our politicians and uses them to fund their expansion projects. That's what this is all about at the end of the day. That's what this is all about. If we're just going to get down to the nitty-gritty. That's what it's about. And I don't understand why Donald Trump, with all of the hope and the joy and the support that was behind him to do the right thing for America, I don't understand why in the world, why in the HE double hockey sticks, he would literally commit electoral suicide and throw his entire presidency away with this bullshit. They say that maybe they have something on him. Maybe they have dirt on him. I don't know. There are people asking him to step down. I'm not for invoking 25th Amendment, making people step down. I just think that's a horrible precedent to set. But I will say this, Donald John Trump, okay? I will say this. In the midst of how expensive this war is and all this money you're spending, in the midst of you throwing your presidency away on this crap that nobody wants, they're saying you may be in fear of your life. I don't know. If you're in fear of their life, if they have dirt on you and you're in fear of your life, first of all, if you're in fear of your life, you are the head, Donald Trump, of the of the military services. You are the head of the military. You're the commander-in-chief of the military. So if they have something on you and it may cause you to possibly lose your life to reveal that, then that's what you got to do for America. If the 15 soldiers who have died in Iran died for their country, then sir, you're no better. You're no better. If it takes you losing, and again, I don't want you to die. I don't want Trump to die. I'm not for that. But if that's what it takes to excise this, to expose this, then guess what, sir? That's what you got to do. Because that's the oath that you took, that you didn't put your hand on the Bible for. Very telling. Just saying, very telling. Don't have the photo, but there is a photo. Look up the photo. When President Trump got re-sworn in 2024, he didn't put his hand on the Bible. I didn't know that. Very weird. Very strange. There was two Bibles. Melania had two Bibles. I guess they were like old family Bibles. He didn't put his hand on that Bible. I don't know whether that was a mistake. Very weird. But if Israel has something on you, President Trump, then do the right thing and step down. Just step down. It's okay. Step down. But if you're not going to do the right thing for this country, if you're not going to do your job, then you shouldn't have the job. Sorry. That makes me not MAGA, makes you a bad person. I'm for the country more than I am for any man or whatever. I'm for the country. If you're supposed to be leading this country, this American country, then you have to make the sacrifice for this country. And if that means your life, then guess what? So be it. Sorry. We will do whatever we can to protect you, obviously. But if you really want to be a hero, if you really want to be that guy, Donald Trump, then bring this Israeli this Israeli demon, this funding demon that is in our government. You be the president to take it down. Do that for Kennedy. Do that for everybody else who's felt like they could never talk. They can't say this, they can't say that. Do that for all these people that have been bound by this country over the years, by this lobby over the years. Do it for them. You want to be that hero, you want to be that guy, Trump? You be the guy to expose this. You be that guy. Then you will be a freaking American hero for real. That's a real American hero. The person that stops this crap is a real freaking American hero. So, I don't hate you, Trump. I don't know you to hate you. I don't have TDS. I'm not looking for the worst in Trump, all that, even though this is bad. And for those who are defending him, it's okay to criticize Donald Trump. I understand that there are a lot of people who are, I guess they're like MAGA influencers or whatever, or just regular people in general, regular voters where a lot of their identity is tied up in Trump. My identity is not tied up in Trump. It's tied up in myself. It's tied up in Christ. It's not tied up in Trump. Trump come, Trump go. It's not tied up in Trump. You know what I mean? I believe in, like the Bible says, like Paul said in the Bible, follow me as I follow Christ. I follow you as long as you're doing the right thing, Trump. Once you get off the road and you're not doing the right thing, then I'm no longer following you. Sorry, not following you anymore. I don't owe an obligation to Donald Trump. Donald Trump don't pay my bills. He do nothing personally for me. I like him to do a job, which is to make this country great again, to lead our country, lead this country, America, not Israel, not Russia, not Ukraine, this country. And if he can't do that, if you can't do that, Donald Trump, you need to step down. Get your ass out of the office and let somebody else come in who's going to actually do the job. Go back to being a billionaire and build your resorts and live your life and all that. Because you're about to be cast out in shame anyway if this goes on much longer the way it is. We're only at the beginning of this. If these gas prices go to $8, $9, $10, crazy, if you're out here, with inflation going crazy, we can't afford things or whatever, as it is now, it's already bad enough. But if it really goes further into the summer, we have the summertime coming, the travel season, gas going up right before the summertime where people travel. So whatever this is, if they have a hold on you, whatever hold that is, either expose it or just step down. Because I don't want to have to make another video into which I have to look in the camera and say, Donald Trump, you're fired. I don't want to make that video. So please, for the love of the country, do what you got to do and do the right thing. That was a lot. Let's just take a moment. Let's have a timeline cleanse for a moment. Okay, so we're back. Now we're going to go into our second topic of the day, which is Kamala Harris. Kamala's back. Kamala's back. I'm going to ride tonight. Hey, am I going? So Kamala's back. She's back. She said she's not running. She's obviously running. She's at the National Action Network, Al Sharpton's convention, which is where all the Democrats go when they are going to try to be, proven out and prodded out for black voters. Al Sharpton, he is a wheeler and dealer in black politics and Democrat politics. He's been in the game forever, grifting and getting money. I mean, I'm sure he's very happy because, the last time Kamala ran, she gave him $500,000, so I'm sure he's ready for her to go on again. And of course, in the back of all these things, in the back of all these, any type of black convention, political, whatever, there's always murmurs of the R word, reparations. There's always talking about reparations and how can we do reparations and where's that coming from? And they always got to, throw that out there, put that little carrot on a stick, keep the blacks engaged. And no one good and damn well they're never going to do that shit. Because when they had the chance to do it under Obama, they did not. So before we go into the Action Network coverage, I want to show you a video that I did, a podcast I was on last year, talking about this very thing. The Democrats, reparations, black folks, and what they ain't going to ever do for Negroes. The video went viral all over the place, too. It went crazy. All right. And
Black committee, when y'all had the vote to do reparations in 2008, so let's talk about it. Let's talk about the fact they had a Senate supermajority from October of 2009 to February 2010. So if we're not black, if we don't vote for you, then where the fuck are our reparations at? Y'all should have did that shit if y'all were so for black people. So what that did for me, that freed me. To let me know y'all full of shit. So guess what? I'm doing me. And if that means Trump, hey, that means Trump. That may mean Biden, whomever. But I think for all of us, our vote does not belong to Democrats. We don't owe them shit. They don't do shit for us to be. Now, if they did reparations and all things they said, I'd be like, hey, I'm a Democrat all day. But they're not doing it, number one, because they don't have to, because where were you going, black folks? You wasn't going to not vote for them if they said, we ain't giving you niggas reparations. And what the fuck you going to do about it? Vote for Trump? No. And shut the fuck up, nigga, and accept what we give you. That's really what it is. And people don't like to hear it like that, but that's what the fuck it is. So now that I've realized that, I'm doing me. And if doing me means vote for Trump, hey, now I voted for Trump, and I did it 3 times, and I'm proud of it. The whole black community thing, it's bullcrap. Because I'm sorry, there's no black community to the Democrats when y'all import 20 million illegals. There's no black community when y'all had the vote to do reparations in 2008. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the fact they had a Senate supermajority from October of 2009 to February 2010. So if we're not black, if we don't vote for you, then where the fuck are our reparations at? Y'all should have did that shit if y'all were so for black people. So what?
very, very true. Not a lie was told. And I love my my jacket tie combo there with the shirt. I really did a good job there. That was really good. I did a really good job. That was a good outfit. That was a good outfit that day. Anyway, very true. Very true. Democrats, if you were going to do reparations, the time to have done that would have been under Obama when you had the supermajority and all the blacks got together. Even me, I voted for Obama the way he got me. Obama got me one time. He didn't get me that second time. He got me the first time. Second time, I didn't vote at all for anybody. But 2008, he got me. All the black folks, over the hills, everywhere, all the black folks voted. We went and we got our people, our mama, our grandmama, everybody went to go vote for Obama. We did that. We did that. Got him in there. You know, it was the first quote unquote black president. Everybody was just so happy. And he swept through. He had the supermajority from October 2009, 2002, February 2010. He did anything the hell he wanted. Democrats had done that, did it, whatever the fuck they wanted. And the Republicans couldn't have done shit about it. And what did they do? DACA. Bullshit ass Obamacare. They don't do shit for nobody. But nothing for the black people that put them there. Obama ran on not just black votes, black people, the black story, the dreams of my father. His father wasn't even American ass bullshit. And I remember he had the story about he was like, he was at some fancy party and they thought that he was the bellboy or some shit like that to try to. I'm sorry, I was getting messed with my phone. To try to like engender some type of like sympathy. Like it was all ran on the blackity black bullshit. Okay, so we put Obama in the spot that he was, and what did we get for it? Not a fucking thing. So now we're here, National Action Network. Kamala's there, and let's see what the fuck she's talking about. Actually, oh yes, before we get into National Action Network, this famous video of Kamala Harris, she was being interviewed by Griot, which is like a black publication, and they actually came out. And I have to give shout out to Griot. I don't subscribe to Griot. They don't really like me. They called me a MAGA Negro in an article years ago. After I went to the YBLS thing at the White House, so no love lost for Griot. But I do like the fact that they asked her point blank about reparations, and this is what Kamala Harris had to say about it. Back then. I think this was like 2020.
The reality also is this. Any policy that will benefit black people will benefit all of society. Let's be clear about that. Let's really be clear about that. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No, because whatever benefits that black family will benefit that community and society as a whole and the country. Right? The reality also is...
So... you not doing nothing specifically for black folks? Nothing specific? Because, black folks, we always looking for, our own little black, we got to have BET, we got to have a black version, we got to have a black version of everything. It's got to be chocolate colored, everything. So you're not doing anything for us, you're doing things for the whole country, and then it will affect us. So is that not trickle down? Isn't that trumped up trickle down economics? Isn't that what Hillary Clinton called it? Trumped up trickle down from like Bush? That's trickle down economics. That's racist. That's white supremacy. You got to do something specifically for the black folks. If you're down for us, you got to do it specifically for the Negro population. Like what do you mean? So now let's fast forward to her appearance at the National Action Network. Let's see how our tunes change a little bit.
The last point I would say on this, Rev, and I know it's a bit controversial, but here's how I feel about this. You know how I was talking earlier about how people are so transactional? I think we need to be transactional voters. I think, yes, it is right when we are trying to get folks to register to vote and to go vote, and it is absolutely right that we remind everyone of our history, especially when they're trying to erase it. We remind people.
Okay, I want y'all to listen here. She's going into the reminding us of history. Now, she started with the transactional voting thing, so now, she's trying to say that, well, we're going to do specific stuff for blacks now, because before we wasn't about that. We do things for the whole country, and it trickles down, trumped up trickle down. But now we're doing things specifically for black folks, because that's implied, because look where she's sitting. She's sitting at the National
also is
Network.
This. Any policy that will benefit black people will benefit all society.
Where'd that
Let's be
come
clear
from?
about
Whoa,
that.
things are talking. Where'd that
Let's
come from?
really
That's
be
weird.
clear about that. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only...
Okay. So let's go back. So now, before she continues talking, she's talking about, if you notice, she's talking about civil rights movement and things like that. Just get into what she's saying right here. I want you to listen to this. This is very important.
This bridge, the sacrifice of this country, we
Let's go back a little
remind everyone of our history, especially when they're trying to erase it. I think, yes, it is right when we are trying to get folks to register to vote and to go vote, and it is absolutely right that we remind everyone of our history, especially when they're trying to erase it. We remind people of the lives, the bloodshed on the Edmund Pettus Bridge, the sacrifice of those young people at the lunch counter, the assassination of Dr. King. There are so many things that we must remember about history so that what compels us to vote includes not only our civic duty, but honoring the ancestors. Yes.
No. Hell no. Hell no. That is not what voting is about. You notice they always do this. They always do this shit when it's time for voting time. I want to remind you of the Edmund Pettus Bridge and Bloody Sunday and civil rights. No. We're voting in 2028 for the future. You vote for the future, not the past. We can't undo that. You don't go to the voting booth with history. Like what? We're voting for a future. What is your plan to untangle us from Israel? What's that? Well, she can't untangle us from Israel because her husband is Israel. Anyway, what is your plan for that? What is your plan for the government moving forward? What is your plan for black folks? I mean, you're at the black event, so what is your plan for that? You talk about transactional. What type of transaction are you making? Because you go from the transaction, which is okay, transaction, okay, sounds like we're getting somewhere. Then you go straight to the bull crap with the civil rights movement. And then it's not to disrespect the civil rights movement. Obviously, you know, those things are bad. Edmund Pettus Bridge, yada, yada, y'all go there every year. Mind you, y'all do nothing for the actual people of Selma, but y'all go there to take pictures on this bridge every year, you know, bad. Bloody Sunday, we don't like that. Obviously, no one's advocating for that. But what I'm saying is that what I hate about these black Democrat politicians is they don't never speak to your needs now. They speak to honoring the ancestors. We can honor the ancestors at a ceremony. We can honor the ancestors any day. You don't vote in the present to honor the ancestors. Like, the ancestors have lived and have gone. You have to live now. When you're voting, you're thinking about the future. What type of America might I have for my children? What kind of money can I make? What kind of family can I have? What kind of community can I have in the present and the future? Not trying to relitigate the past. They're trying to block and hide our history. How could they do that? You niggas don't stop talking about it every 5 fucking minutes. If they wanted to block the shit, they couldn't. So what do you mean? The history is not being blocked. They always got to do this history bullshit. They always got to run this game on us every freaking time, and it's so annoying. And this bitch ain't even black, for real. Let's just be honest. She's not black. She's half Jamaican and freaking Indian, nothing of which is black American. She has no slavery roots nowhere. But she's talking about Edmund Pettus Bridge and all this other crap. That'd be like me going to Ireland and running for president. I'm talking about the potato famine. I didn't experience a damn potato famine. I'm not Irish. That wasn't my life. That didn't happen to me and my family. I don't have. And mind you, I'm the person who is an actual descendant of slaves. My family still lives on the land we had since the end of slavery. I paid taxes on the land last year. But I'm the coon. But this is your Wokey. This is your black leader. This is your Edmund Pettus Bridge and things that is y'all associated with her. Make it make sense. But this is the game that we always keep getting caught up into every freaking election cycle. Black folks, I need y'all to see this, okay? I understand. I'm a coon. I get it. I wear the hat. I'm a coon, okay? We get it. I'm a coon. Yay, I'm a coon. Okay, great. Now that we've established that, establish the fact that this heifer is playing in your face like they always do. They always got to come with this civil rights bullcrap. Not saying the civil rights itself is bullcrap, but civil rights in this regard, in this emotional freaking manipulation that she's doing right now is bullcrap, and she knows it. She's gonna go in there and do what the hell AIPAC tells her to do, like she been doing. She ain't doing nothing special for your black ass, but she just needs your vote. So she's gonna get you emotionally vested in the Edmund Pettus Bridge and the civil rights, and we have to honor the ancestors with our vote. No, you honor the ancestors in your house, with your people, in your conversation. Voting ain't about that. Voting is a business transaction. She starts off good, transactional, then she gotta assuage you with the emotional Edmund Pettus Bridge, civil rights, yada 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 yada, to loop you niggas back in. Y'all don't see that? Y'all don't see that? Am I crazy? Am I the only one seeing that? Is this the coon vision? Let's go on.
And here's what I'm suggesting in addition. Get yours. Vote and say, I'm voting because I expect something out of this. You're not going to take for granted that I'm going to vote because I'm a good citizen and it's my civic duty to vote, so that you don't even worry about whether you're producing what I need because, oh, we can count on them to vote because they remember the Edmund Pettus Bridge.
Yeah.
I'm saying it's okay to also give people permission to be transactional and to say, if you're going to get my vote, this is what I expect. I'm going to vote because I expect to get something out of this. I'm going to get mine by voting. That's what I would offer. I think it's okay to give people permission to be transactional voters.
That's lovely. You're giving us permission to be transactional voters, but what are we getting for the transaction? You sat up there and said, we should be transactional, we should expect something, but then you don't mention what it is that we're to expect. But then you dot the I with the Edmund Pettus Bridge and the emotional crap. Very cute little thing she's doing here. This is very cute, but no actual expectation of anything. So I thought that was funny. So then later on in this thing, I guess I don't know whether this is another day or another session of this thing. They had people come and talk about things. I guess people from the audience, whatever, stand up, and then this guy came.
Hey yo, as I look around this room, if you're 35 years old or younger, raise your hand. 4 people. So here's the thing. Y'all in trouble. Yesterday you had Al Green up here talking about we need a Secretary of Reconciliation, and then that's going to include what he said was reparations, which, by the way, wasn't reparations. Reparations is more than a check, but the very first thing it is a check. And come this year during the midterms and in 2028, if you don't have our check, you won't get no vote. No check, no vote. Yeah, I know that ain't what you want to hear, but that's what's happening. All of y'all in here, with all due respect, you're beautiful, but you're old. You're not talking to the youth. You don't know how to talk to the youth. You're trying to tell us what to do. We're not having it no more. So if you want our vote, you got to come with our paper. We're not scared of Trump. We're not scared of anybody. Biden is a racist. Trump is a racist. Kamala is a racist. And if you don't have our money, you don't get our vote. Yeah, not. Who are you? Oh, all right, yeah, so like I was saying, I'm going to land my plane right there, but the Democrats are no better than the Republicans. No check, no vote. Y'all take care. And somebody get my man a tissue. He needed.
So he was talking all that tough talk, and well and good, and I do feel like, you know, that's kind of the direction we should be going in, but, bro, you're like 15 years too late. This was something you should have been doing underneath Obama. You wouldn't have done it under Obama, obviously. I mean, he wasn't alive or old enough to vote at that time. But the people who were wouldn't have done that because, you know, they were so busy bowing down and worshiping, oh, Obama, oh, my God, everything you do is perfect. But you're 15 years too late. If you haven't noticed, Biden and Obama and them, they brought in like 15, 20, 30, possibly 40 million new people here. So all that you talking, we ain't going to vote, whatever, you've already been placed, bro. So the young black contingent can stay home, and they already replaced you with illegals. So it's like everything you're saying, I mean, that's nice and all. I mean, I appreciate it. I think it's good. I'm glad that people are getting to that point, and they're, you know, pointing out the bull crap from the Democrats and saying they're not scared of Trump, because Trump was always a scare tactic. Trump won't be on the ballot. But as far as reparations are, that ain't happening. How is that happening? What you're not standing in the way of their political power. Ultimately, the black community is not. We're not. They can win without us. And that's actually what the goal is. Like that's the new Democrat Party is looking toward the Hispanic vote. So all this you're talking about here, I mean, they're giving lip service to Al Sharpton because ultimately it looks good, but the threats you're making don't really resonate. Because you can say this at the National Action Network, but you go to DNC and say it, they can look at you like you're crazy. So, you know, it's too little too late for that, unfortunately. Hate that for you, but it ain't happening. You don't have the political power or the pull, or your people or people who want reparations or whatever, black people in general. We don't have the pull and the numbers to go for a quote unquote just straight up black agenda F everybody else. It's not happening. And you need to realize that with yourself. You need to find a way to reparate yourself, do better for yourself. But if you're waiting for the U.S. government to do something in the name of like slavery or something, that ship has sailed. And Obama put holes in it and gave it to DACA. That's done. Then Biden opened the border and just sealed that deal. And then y'all the same ones talking about reparations, and when Trump goes to deport people, y'all want to stand out there and be upset about it. So I don't know. You can't have it both ways. Sorry. Can't have both ways. So it's unfortunate for you. I hate that for you. I wish that there were more of a thing for you, but you can't have both ways. We've already been outnumbered. So I think that for reparations and for whatever, we need to figure out a new plan, a new system, a new something, because we're going to get back at the whites of what they did back like that. We're no longer a black and white country. We're not. And we're no longer a country where the whites are the rich and the black are the poor. There are plenty rich black people, plenty of them that are there. Plenty of your rich black politicians that have gotten rich over the years, you know, pimping your pain and suffering out to get you to vote for them while they're making overseas deals and getting APAC money. So it's unfortunate, but this young man's going to learn very soon that anybody can hear what he's talking about for real. So Al Sharpton, though, for his credit or discredit or whatever, I mean, what credit can really be Al Sharpton, he did respond to this. Let's see what Al Sharpton said.
In terms of our report for the year,
And then we're going to go on with the program. Our young people are rehearsing, getting ready for this afternoon. Is our youth day. I heard somebody talk about young people. They tell them to just stay around. They're going to see two people, afternoon, all of the youth in there. And I don't know, but you get provocateurs, because anybody that is talking to somebody younger than them,
He's a provocateur now. So he's not a young Wakandan citizen speaking up for the blacks. No, he's a provocateur, according to Al Sharpton and the establishment.
holding the mic, then you know that they paid agents. And if you're in the room, if you don't like,
And this guy is a paid agent, mind you. Al Sharpton has been a paid informant to the FBI for like 30, 40 years, but I guess it takes one to know one, right, Al Sharpton?
me saying that, I'll say it again. Because you cannot get reparations without putting people in office that's going to pay them.
We did put people in office to pay them, and you didn't. We put the Democrats in office. We had a supermajority in 2009 to pay them. And what did y'all do? Y'all paid it to DACA. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? We had people in office to pay it. And guess what? Now, we're no longer the black and white country that we were before. We have 1 million new people. We're no longer the number one minority demographic anymore. So, really? And no one pushes back on any of this? Ridiculous.
So talk that ignorance somewhere else.
So he's ignorant. He's ignorant. You couldn't take this young man under your wing, nothing like that. No, he's just ignorant because he's not going around with the Democrat talking points. So he's ignorant. He's ignorant now. That's all he is now. Real shame. Then also in this thing, there was, as you know, the Democrats are trying their best to meld black people into the immigrant, thing. Tariq Nasheed, who I've had issues with before, well, he had issues with me because I basically just asked him straight up, what are you doing to actually get reparations, and how are you trying to get reparations as a government thing? Have you counted the votes? That's what people get so mad at me. He got mad at me. Yvette Carnell got mad at me. These people that are reparations, activists, but it's you can activate all you want online, on the internet, and through your Patreon, but if you're not doing anything to actually move votes and account the votes and whip the votes in the Senate, then this is not happening. So my question to him years ago was, okay, well, if reparations is such a thing, then tell me the 60 senators that are for it right now. Who are they? Couldn't list them. So then he goes to the ad hominem attacks and all that, and blah, blah. The huge. Same thing with Yvette Carnell. Couldn't list anything. Who are they? But the place that I do align with Tariq Nasheed very, very strongly is his whole delineation between, and not in a bad way, I don't believe in calling them tethers or calling them any bad names, whatever, but delineation between black Americans and black immigrants, because they are two separate things. So now, in the Democrat Party, of course, wants to make them all one thing because that's great for their electoral power. So here's Homegirl talking about immigration at the National Action Network. As they had to have their piece here as well.
Every single person in this room is maybe 1 degree removed from someone who is a black immigrant and someone who at some point in their life had a visa status that was a little wonky.
I'm certainly not. All my people is from here. We from, South Carolina, both sides, 7, 8, 9, 10 generations. So we ain't never had no visa problems. Not my family. I don't know anybody like that. Sorry. Speak for yourself, mama.
That's what I mean when I'm especially talking about people who are documented black people. Folks who have temporary protected status, TPS, folks who may have DACA, all these names and acronyms that are being.
There go DACA. There's your reparations, black folks. Went to DACA. That's what Obama did with reparations. That's what he spent your political capital on. DACA. And now it's back. DACA. And how many years was that? What, that was 9, 10, 15 years later? No reparations for you Negroes, and now we at the black function talking about DACA. Isn't that ironic?
Being thrown around. But I think we have to ensure that black immigrants are treated as they are, which is central to democracy and not separate from it. When we have
So I want you to hear what she said. Black immigrants are central to democracy.
Have what has been here today, poll taxes. You need to get your passport, all these things that we know the SAVE Act and other things are saying for people to vote. When we have TPS being...
So ID, the same ID you used to get on a plane, buy liquor, go to the club, probably even to get up in there, I'm sure, or to get up in the plane that you took to get there, is a poll tax. When we ask people, and let's see, poll tax, that's another thing. This is some more old slavery, Jim Crow talk again with the poll tax. There's no poll tax in 2026. This is the crap I'm talking about. This is why I can't do the wokey, blackity black bullshit. I can't do it because they're always talking about some antiquated ass shit to get you emotionally wrapped up, and we're now taking ancestral trauma and moving generation. There is no poll tax. Like, ma'am, no one's taxing anyone any poll, but all they're asking for is you have proper documentation, the same documentation you use to go buy a bottle of liquor to do our most sacred civic duty, which would be voting and electing our leaders. That's not a hard thing to do. But you see what they do. This is what they do. They gotta meld the immigration thing and meld it in with the blacks, as we're all in this whole hodgepodge of being oppressed. Fuck that. Anyway.
Stripped away when we have every single Caribbean nation as of January this year.
And they can stay in their nation. Caribbeans have nations, they can stay in them. Unless they want to come legally.
Being banned from the U.S. in some shape or form? Where to see how far can they go with us, who may be a more vulnerable population, to then exact that in the larger population. It's like in and out, because black people in...
This is what they always do. They gotta say, see, they gonna do it to them, because that means that was always the argument with the immigrants. With ICE. Oh, because they locking the folk up with ICE, they gonna lock up black folks next. Yes, they is, because the slavery buses is a-coming, and they is gonna take us, and they is gonna put us away. That's why we can't support ICE, because they is gonna get us next, and we is next. This is the bullshit they run on us every fucking time. Are we still falling for this dumbass bullshit, is my question. Okay, I guess she's done. Even the video was tired of her bullshit. So there we go. Like, this is what they're doing National Network. A whole bunch of nothing, a whole bunch of bullshit, as you can see. Same old blackity black ass bullshit. And Al Sharpton getting paid off all that, as we know. So this was hilarious. Jesse Waters' show, as we know on Fox, he went to the National Action Network and he had his man of the street guy, Johnny, talk to participants, at this thing. Now, obviously, they're going to talk to people that aren't necessarily the brightest, aren't necessarily, the most knowledgeable, because it's fun to have these people out here looking dumb, obviously, for our entertainment, for Fox News viewers' entertainment, and our entertainment is in a moment. But I will say this is not man on the street interview. This is a political convention. So if you can't speak about what the goals are of this convention in a smart and eloquent way, I would think everybody in the place would do it. It's not like this thing is like a zillion people. Maybe it's a couple thousand people there, maybe at most. At this thing, it doesn't look that big from what I'm seeing of the pictures and things like that. So I would think if I'm of the 1,000, 2,000 people there, I would be very much well clued in on DEI, since he's like big on the DEI and whatever, and just what this whole thing, what they're doing there, what it's all about. But these people aren't, for whatever reason, and I just find that crazy. But let's watch this. This is
no justice, no peace.
No peace. No glory.
No peace. It's no peace.
Oh, no peace.
What does it mean? No justice, no peace.
Oh God. It basically means I don't want to do this.
Okay, she don't know, but I'll tell you what it means. There's no peace is basically extortion. It basically means that if you don't give us what we want, we're gonna tear your shit up, burn your shit up, knock your shit down, be loud and annoying and violent. If you don't give us what the fuck we want. That's what no justice, no peace means. Meaning no justice, meaning whatever the fuck we want, then we gonna fuck up your shit. That's what it means.
I'm scared.
It just means simply that no justice, no peace.
Well, break it down for me.
I'm gonna break it down just like this. No justice, no peace.
Equality.
Would you say we're all equal now?
Of course.
If we're all equal now, then what's with DEI?
I can't really give you a profound answer on that.
DEI will help you with all your work. They'll help you with your office work.
Not AI, sorry. DEI.
Okay, what's that? You tell me what that is.
What? How do they not know what DEI? Like what? At the Al Sharpton? Y'all don't know what DEI? I mean, I would think even the fucking janitor should know what DEI is at the Al Sharpton. I mean, this is crazy.
Is the DEI?
DEI.
DEI. What's the DEI?
Is DEI a good thing or a bad thing?
It's a bad thing. It is no equality. It is no fairness. It is no justice.
Al Sharpton says DEI is great.
I mean, obviously that was a wrong answer, but she's absolutely right. It is a bad thing. and it works on the premise of black people being at the bottom of the totem pole that we just like need and we just can't do on our own. It's very like especially when there are findings that DI benefits white women more than anybody else. So, you know, there's that. So she's actually right in her being wrong. She don't know it though.
Oh, okay. Well, if he says great is great.
And mind you, a chick like that'd be the type of chick calling me a coon. You see why coon don't work on me? You see why I'll wear this hat and not give a fuck? Because people with that type of brain power is who's calling me a coon. I'm a coon, says what? Says you, who is not too bright, but you calling me a coon. I'm supposed to be offended by what somebody who's not too bright says about me? Not at all. But this is the ilk of people that are out here calling people like me coons. Hilarious.
Kamala Harris is here. She might run for president again. Do you think she should do it? Are you Team Kamala?
Yes, I said you were robbed.
I'm Team Kamala all the way.
Of course. Why would I not be?
But she didn't win any swing state.
She's going to swing those swing states. That's it.
How is she going to swing those swing states?
Oh, she's going to swing them. We're going to swing them. Let's say she's going to swing them.
When you have unfairness and people stealing states and votes, of course.
Who stole the votes?
You could just look who's in the White House.
He stole them.
You can, it's obvious.
Do you want to stop the steal?
We want to stop the steal now.
What are we going to do to protest?
We're going to get our people out.
We're going to march.
We're going to march.
Peacefully. Patriotically.
All this marching and all this dumb shit. Like, I hate protests and marching. All this. Like, there's no need for this in 2026. It's bullshit. What are you marching for? To do what? To do what? To do what? You're marching to get Democrats in office and do not do jack fucking shit like they always do? Like this is what we're doing here. Like these are the type of people that would call me a coon. Again, this is why it doesn't upset me. Look at the intelligence here, or lack thereof. I'm supposed to be these. You can't insult me. Look at you. This is what's insulting me. Please, okay.
Patriotically,
I would.
What is the best thing that Madam Vice President Kamala Harris has done while she was vice president?
I really don't know.
She was able to negotiate peace talks.
Which peace talks did she negotiate?
I don't know. I don't even want to say stuff that I'm not really sure of.
I like that she stand with the Biden.
So if we elect her again, we'll get more Biden. Is that good?
Biden wasn't that bad. He was not that bad.
No.
Biden was not that bad. What a ringing endorsement of Biden. He should be sitting home in Delaware eating his ice cream like, she supported me. He wasn't that bad. Okay.
Was Biden with it?
No, he wasn't really.
He wasn't with it, but he was great.
Yeah, he was great.
Yeah, right.
But she...
Who cares about the brain?
Exactly.
Right.
Joe Biden's going to be fine.
Kamala Harris is here. She didn't win any swing state, but she might want to be president again. How's that going to work?
Well, we'll see. I'm not going to get out there.
Now, Jim Clyburn, he is a big power player in the Democrat Party. He is the reason why Joe Biden was president, because Joe Biden was about to fail after he didn't win the Iowa caucuses back in 2020. But he mobilized his people in South Carolina because he is the representative over the Charleston area. He was another one, like another oldie like Maxine Waters that won't let it go. And he actually got Joe Biden over the top. So Joe Biden owes him, and he's a big player in the Democrat Party because of that. Other things too, but that definitely had made him a bigger player in the Democrat Party even on today, because he literally made Joe Biden's presidency possible.
In front of this process, I'm going to stay behind it, push it along.
Would you be Team Kamala?
Well, we'll see.
Johnny from Fox, how's it going? Is she running?
And there go Kamala husband, who I said, if Kamala were president, him and his AIPAC connections, we'd be right in the same, probably in the same water we're in right now. or maybe not to the degree, but we would be funding whatever the hell Israel got going on, just like how Biden was funding it. He's her, let's put it this way, he's her Jared Kushner. Let's put it like that.
Can we just give it up again for my husband?
Mayor Pete. He says he wants to be president too.
Well, God bless him. I'm not too keen with Pete.
Kamala said.
Pete needs to give it the F up because, like, America's not electing a gay president. Like, I don't know why. They just need to stop it. I would never vote for a gay president. Hell no. Absolutely not. And I think more people just need to be honest about that. I would never vote for a gay president, and most of America wouldn't either. The gay lobbies already does enough as it is with trying to make everything and everybody, everything gay every 5 seconds. No thank you. No thank you. No thank you. No one's voting for that. And I think we all need to be honest with ourselves. Just say, at least Kamala in her book, I believe, or somewhere she said why she wouldn't pick him for that reason. Keep it real, girl, because that's the truth. No one's voting for a gay president. Pete needs to. I don't care how many mustaches she get. I don't care how many freaking cabins in the mountains him and his husband get or whatever. Y'all done bought them kids. It looks weird as hell. No one's voting for you. Sorry, no one's doing it. Sorry, not happening.
He was too gay to be vice president.
Well,
Mr. Secretary, are you running?
How you doing?
Are you running?
I don't have an answer for you now, that, you know.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing President Alfred E. Newman.
If Kamala Harris and Donald Trump had a rematch, you choose?
I'd pick Donald Trump.
Who do you want to be the Democrat nominee in 2028?
He'd pick Donald Trump. Who was that guy? Why are you there, sir? Why are you here, sir?
I'm gonna go with Kamala. I'm rooting for Obama again.
Kamala Harrison.
Just Kamala Harris.
Harrison.
I am Kamala.
Did she say Kamala Harrison? Who are these people? Where did he get these people from?
Kamala Harris. My pronouns are she and her.
Do you know who I am?
The handsome fox. Drop it till it's hot.
Ooh, here's Johnny.
Here's Johnny.
Oh, man.
Freaking hilarious. But again, this is the ilk of people that calls me a coon. This is why I don't give a damn and why I continue to do what I do, and I'm totally unaffected, because this is the ilk of people that would call me a coon. These are people who are out here trying to make fun of me. Like, are you serious right now? This is their ilk. So before we go, I want to show one other video. I saw this video on Instagram, and it really highlighted something that we don't really talk about that as much as we should. Hold on, let me see here if I can get this in here. So there's a video. I guess I'll put that Chiron back because I don't have another one. Oh, this one. On Instagram, there's this guy. He shared this video on Instagram, and I won't even say anything about it. Let's just watch it, and then I will give commentary after it's over. I hate this sound.
Most offensive shit I ever heard in my life. Because she was pretty much telling me, because I'm black, my hate don't feel the same.
All right, we need to probably watch this twice because I hate that Instagram does this. So we'll play it from here. We'll watch it again.
That's the most racist shit I ever heard. I'm allowed to hate Asians. That's crazy. I mean, I don't, but I'm allowed to. That's all I'm saying. I don't talk to white girls because they're too progressive. One time I was talking to this white girl, and I was making a joke about Asian people. And I was like, my bad, I'm just joking. I don't want to sound racist. And she was like, oh, like, you're black. You can't be racist. You don't have any power. Which was the most offensive shit I ever heard in my life. Because she was pretty much telling me, because I'm black, my hate don't feel the same. That's the most racist shit I ever heard. I'm allowed to hate Asians. That's crazy. I mean, I don't, but I'm allowed to. That's all I'm saying. I don't talk to white.
So you hear what he's saying. So this black guy, he was dating this white girl, and he made a joke about Asian people. And he said, oh, you know, by the way, I'm not racist. And she was like, oh, I know you're not racist. You can't be racist because you're black. Excuse me? You can't be racist because you don't have any power. Oh, wow. So what's funny is this is the type of argument I've made to black people many, many times, you know, and I'm called a coon for this. But when they say things like black people can't be racist because we don't hold the power to whatever, like, we say that, but it hits different when a white person says that to you, doesn't it? Because that's essentially what's happening here. when you do this, when you say that black people can't be racist, you're saying that our words don't have much power, even our harmful words don't have as much power as a white person's words. So a white person can say, you know, blah, 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 I don't like da, 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 and that's fine and good. But a black person can't, because even if we say it, it doesn't matter because our words don't have power because we don't have much power as, you know, white people or anybody else's people. So when wokies, when you say things like black people can't be racist, I want you to look at the full picture of what you're saying, because you're putting black people in a place where they're underneath white people. But you also do it when you do the whole white supremacy thing as well, too. That's why I don't subscribe to any of those things, because I'm not going to put myself in a position where I'm lower or I'm underneath white people. But this is what you all do in the woke world. That's why I can't do the woke world, because you're discounting yourselves. Why are your hateful words any less than a white person's hateful words in a free country where we're all free? Just something to think about. Just something to think about. So before we go, I actually have some good news to share. On the last show, we were talking about TLC and that whole thing, how Chili was getting canceled. And, you know, I felt bad for Chili, even though I couldn't fully feel bad because she lied about, you know, being a Trump supporter or whatever, and she got exposed for it. But there is some good news. It looks like here people were saying they were boycotting them, but according to TLC on their Facebook page here, it looks like they're saying that Los Angeles, Atlanta, Toronto, Kansas City, Mohegan Sun, which is Connecticut, and Las Vegas shows are all sold out. That's amazing. I'm so glad to see that. I'm so glad that the cancel culture didn't take down another one, that we're in a new and a better and a good place where people can like love and enjoy things and like what they like, and we can separate the art from the artist. I mean, the art of the artist from their political leanings. I think that's good. So I'm glad to hear that. And I hope you guys go out and go see Chili over the summer. I told you guys I'm going to see Jill Scott this summer. You know, I might pull up in this concert. I don't know. You know, anything's possible, you know. Night's still young, the summer's still young, but I'm glad to see that the cancellation plot didn't work, just like it didn't work with Target, just like it didn't work with Facebook or with anybody else. So I'm glad to see that. So good on Chili, and I will see you all next show. And, you know, like, share, subscribe, send me messages, all that good stuff. I'm Benj on everything. Want to hear from you guys, comment, all that good stuff. And I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.